And good morning. This is the Cytrus Events Episode 4. The talks about PRON being banned. That's a topic today here in Utah. I am joined with Louie Mcgraff. Louie.
I am here.
Louie, what do you do?
Totally not PRON.
Totally not PRON. Liar.
Yes.
You're full of lies. You're all white.
Ah.
So, Louie, we are here in the morning. We're not doing a gameplay through. Also, I want everyone to know in the chat that Louie Mcgraff is the one that bought me Pizza Tower. and that's why I've been playing that. It's because of Louie. So I want you all to bow down before him.
You're totally not welcome. How has it been? I haven't seen
It's
it, the
so much
gameplay of it.
fun, but I don't like the keyboard controls. So
Get a
I would recommend
plug in.
yeah, I would recommend a controller to play it. But it is just like Wario Land 4. If you ever played Wario Land 4, well, you played Pizza Tower.
I didn't have a childhood.
Cyrus, Citrus, stop having coffee addiction. Why don't you fly all the way over here to Utah, get converted by the Mormons, and make me?
Actually, I'm making coffee right now with a Keurig machine.
So you got 2 versus you, Ebrium. Ha!
Is that a soundboard?
What? No, that's just me being out, me.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a soundboard.
So, we got a couple of topics to jump into. Here in the state of Utah, Louie, if you could summarize Utah and how you feel about it. You've lived here your entire life, and so have I. Well, most of my entire life.
Yes, you're from a filthy liberal land.
I know. That was
Which
from the
shall not
desert.
be named. Yes.
I was born there, and when I was a wee little lad, and I crawled from the sewers, I got abducted by Mormons and sold off to the Utah's Mormon slave state.
I'd say they'd have salt mines here, but that's too much flavoring for food here.
They think flour is spicy.
Yes, it's a very bland, very prim and proper state. I mean, there's state liquor stores. You cannot buy anything stronger than beer in grocery stores. And you can't buy any sauce spicier than jalapeno in stores. It's a very bland, very peaceful state. I mean, it has its ups and downs.
I'll tell you this, if you are
very
a
quiet.
chronic alcoholic, this would be a perfect place to sober up.
Yeah.
So. But there's one thing that we both don't like, and it's the fact that Mormons control the state, and there is no separation of church or state here.
What? No.
No, it's run by what I call the Mormon Mafia.
Yeah.
And so they're a bunch of hypocrite conservatives who think that
The government should stay out of my religious business, but my religious business should stay in my government.
Precisely. Now, I have some religious background and I follow Christianity. I try to drop the whole religion because religion is like man's interpretation of God. I just follow God and Jesus. I don't want man to have the power to. I just want to be told what God and Jesus wants me to do. That's about it. So, but having man use the power of that to abuse others is wrong. And I've seen that my entire life, and I decided to stop doing that and just do it for yourself, individual basis. If you have the capacity to believe that there's something greater than yourself, then we can have those conversations. But if not, that's fine. The problem is that Mormons don't believe that. Mormons have a cultish behavior about themselves. Would that be an accurate statement, Louie?
It gets more. There's regions of Utah. Salt Lake has kind of been a mix of, well, right and left leaning ideologies, so there's actually a balance and things are being challenged, whereas you head further south, there is basically an echo chamber of ideals, and there's a lot more religious zeal down there.
Right, so you have, what would you call the main cities in Utah? Salt Lake City would be number 1, which is the capital.
Salt Lake City.
Careful. And then you would have, I would say Provo because of BYU.
Yeah, Provo is a big hotspot because surprisingly, Mormons are very business savvy folk. They're trained from birth to basically be businessmen. They're very polite people. They're very customer savvy, so they end up being very good businessmen and lawyers, and that's typically what the graduates of that university are, which is a religiously owned one. It's not government subsidized, so they actually have their own rules. You can't wear blue jeans on campus. You cannot wear a beard over a certain length. And
BYU means Brigham Young. Brigham Young is one of the prophets, I believe, who helped Joseph Smith lead the Mormons back to Utah when they were being persecuted on the East Coast. when that whole stuff was happening, because Joseph Smith is from New York at the time, and that's when the religion started. And so they started spreading across the entire eastern side of the USA, and then when the gold rush happened, they moved all the Mormons to Utah, and Brigham Young led them there, and he was a very smart man and decided that he was going to claim Utah as a Mormon-owned state instead of like a American-owned state. And so the roots of Mormonism...
It was a Mexico territory back then. So.
Correct. And Brigham Young is one of those prophets that they kind of split off sometimes because of different teachings. This is the one I don't like about Mormons sometimes, is they follow the prophets to a degree. And when you follow men, you are bound for corruption. You can't say, oh, God imbued this person with holiness, so I need to worship the man. It's like, no. That's not how any of that works, because man is full of corrupt. The whole Bible is antithesis to mankind, letting everyone know man is evil, man is corrupt. So if you have a man that's saying, I believe me, I have the word of God in me, and it's like, listen, no. So aside from that, we're now in this position where only in the state of Utah I'll pull up the article here from PBS. Utah law requiring porn websites to verify user age takes effect. Salt Lake City AP may soon be required to prove you're older than 18. This has already been passed. If you're in Utah and you try to go on Pornhub or any of the main porn websites, it will ask you to verify your age with an ID. So they want your personal information for you to look at titties.
They want your driver's license. They want your PO box. They want pictures of your retinas.
A new state law requiring adult websites verify the ages of their users took effect on Wednesday, making the state at least the second to enact an age verification law to shield kids from sexually explicit materials that have become increasingly accessible online. It's part of our job as society, and maybe a subset of my job as a lawmaker, to try to protect children. State Senator Todd Wheeler, the measure's Republican sponsor, said, I'm not going to blame all of society's ills on pornography, but I don't think it's helpful when a kid is forming their impressions of sex and gender to have all this filth and lewd depictions on their mind. It's currently illegal to show children pornography under federal law. However, it's rarely enforced. The law is Utah's state latest move to crack down on access to pornography, and dovetails with lawmakers' others' efforts to restrict how kids use the internet, including social media sites. It comes less than a year after Louisiana enacted a similar law, and as additional states consider such policies as filters or age verifications for adult websites. Dr. Eleanor Gayton of the PRON National Center of Sexual Exploitation. I think porn's a word you can't say on YouTube, so for safety, I'm just gonna say PRON.
You could say, yeah, that's a good one.
I think it's a classic. Like Quinn.
It makes people think of seafood, though. You're gonna get people hungry. They'll be like, I'm gonna go to the Lobster Fest right now.
This has all been a psyops to get you to eat lobster.
We're totally unsponsored by Red Lobster.
The camera turns on and I'm just a lobster on a microphone.
They found it!
Oh, thank you for joining Henak Tatsisi. I can't pronounce your name. Puniti. All hell, undead chronic. Anyway. Age of sexual exploitation said filters and age verifications were complementary efforts to limit kids' access to pornography. She noted anti-PRON sentiment had grown substantially in recent years due to the groundswell of parents, including ones who testified in State House throughout the country and in front of the U.S. Congress. The wave will continue because the harms are real, she said. that's what I think she says. She's just a dude. These kids can't unsee what they see.
They can't unsee it.
Okay, so let's kind of put like a pin here before I continue. Louie, what do you make of all this? What are your thoughts?
So, there are some good intentions in that. I don't think it feels right with kids kind of having free access to this kind of stuff at an early age. It warps the mind, for sure. But that being said, they're kind of encroaching a bit on, well, your own freedoms of, well, rights to privacy, I guess, because that's not a very public matter, and they're kind of forcing it to be a public matter.
You know what this is? This is the fault of the parents. If you have unlimited internet access and you're a parent and your kid's accessing all of this stuff under your watch,
whoa. You can't put the words bad and parenting in the same sentence, man.
Watch me. Parents. What you gonna do now? Huh? Come and get me, baby boomers. It runs away. The baby boomers start chasing me and they break all their knees. Ugh.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of parents. It's a cycle that repeats itself in the last couple decades.
This sounds like the same argument to me when people say, or that whole debacle of people being like, my kid bought a rated M game from your store. Who bought it for him? Who pays for the internet? If it's such an issue, why aren't you limiting the household? Because listen, there is no a little bit. Either it's all or nothing when it comes to internet. You know, kids can figure out to get around firewalls and stuff like that if they're really smart. The burden's on the parent when it comes to this kind of stuff. If the household's like no PRON, but here's the thing: you have kids, especially young men, who are going through the puberty phase, who are trying to hook up or trying to get girlfriends in middle school and high school, and are being rejected. So you have all this pent-upness that they're going to act out later on when it becomes too much for them. So right now, porn has been a sedation for men. If you were to give me the choice, I think Undead Chronic talked about this. Give me the choice right now to either have a young wife with lots of fertile eggs that would give me sex whenever I wanted, but the other side of that is that no PRON. Oh hell yeah! Well, I'm gonna fill her up every day. Give me kids. But I don't have that option. So, and this isn't something you can't just say, well, why don't you just not have sexual? Shut the fuck up. I'm a human. This is the
hormones will drive you insane.
Not just that, we're guys. We're men. So here's the thing: if you're going to get rid of PRON, then don't act surprised when the entirety of America starts crumbling even faster. When you have young men who can't express themselves, or well, not express themselves, I would say young men who can't satisfy their natural urges. You know, it's not just women who get to do that whenever they want, since they have access to whoever they want to sleep with. They don't have an issue with PRON because they can just go out and be like, look at my ponytail. He spreads it, and some guy's like,
why was that Seth Rogen? Why Seth Rogen?
I wasn't trying to be Seth Rogen.
Now Seth Rogen in my mind is just going to be every I can't say that word on YouTube, I guess. So you take your pick and just kind of go with it. Maybe a clown that's a little handsy. I don't know.
Okay. Parents should be able to control the activities on their children on the internet. Well, that's the thing. There aren't any parents, there's just single mothers.
I actually have to agree with that statement that, you know, parents should have a control, because their kids don't know any better yet, and they're the ones paying for the internet,
right,
for the devices. Once the child is old enough, there's a phrase among Slavic culture, you know, if a boy is old enough to pay, boy is old enough to drink. If you are old enough to pay for your own bills and your own responsibilities, you're old enough to make your own decisions.
Well, here's the thing: parenting hasn't been effective since the I would say 70s and 80s, or the 60s at the earliest is when that started to go down. The 50s and 40s, that parenting seemed to be like very well, the nuclear family, you know, that all went downhill when the baby boomers and the Gen Xers and the millennials, it just became a train wreck of horridness, and it's all because of everyone wants to, all the conservatives and baby boomers want to be like, it's the PRON, Playboy. You remember that asshole?
They have the scapegoats of every generation. They got the PRON, they got the violent video games, they got all kinds of things. It's really, it's parents that don't want to own up to their own actions of, well, it's not even actions, it's lack of action, lack of involvement.
It's
It's so much
laziness.
easier these days to just hand your kid a tablet or your phone and say, all right, only a half hour, and the kid goes over a half hour. Next thing you know, the kid's glued onto Fortnite on the mobile for half the day.
So, Louis,
And
when I worked in grocery stores, do you know what I saw majority of the time?
what'd you say?
Single mothers throwing tablets at their not 8-year-olds or 9-year-olds, 4-year-olds.
Oof. Yeah,
Hold on a
that's
second.
good.
Hold on a second. My cat was hitting my door.
Kitty, kitty.
Yeah, he's like, let me out, I need to go poo poo. Seth Rogen again. So,
Seth Rogen always.
yeah, so single mothers would just give their tablets to these kids, and they're like 4 or 5. And I remember with my ex that I saw YouTube Kids, and that was the most horrendous shit I have ever seen.
What? Spider-Man and Elsa is good.
No, it's not, dude. Shut your fucking mouth. No.
It's good for the kids.
That's probably doing more damage than porn. I would
You know what's funny is
I would
on
argue
my keychain I have a, you know how you can pay for like the custom paint job ones. I have a Spider-Man theme one, and then I have a Frozen Elsa theme one. And
Dear
I
God.
never, I just kind of picked whatever ones kind of stood out, so I didn't have to like confuse my keys with my relatives' keys for the house.
Dear God.
And then it dawned on me, like the fact that both of those were sold at the same place. It kind of. It was coincidental.
Louis, I would recommend watching Elsa Gate. That's a whole thing that was promoting on the lines of Hollywood sexuals.
Gee, Elsa
Yeah,
Gate.
Elsa Gate. I recommend you watch something on that. I think Turkey Tom does something.
I just remember those very disturbing flash games of just like helping deliver a baby from pregnant Elsa, and it was like
Yeah,
marketed
John Tron
towards
touched
kids.
on it, but it's a whole rabbit hole of algorithms pushing that thing into degeneracy, and basically the algorithm was promoting it because what was popular was the tag Elsa and Spider-Man, one of the two most popular tags in the world. You know, in Asia and in Middle East, you know, everyone recognizes Spider-Man and Elsa. It would be like Dragon Ball Z over here. And then Dragon Ball Z in Mexico, where Goku tacos and shit like that. So that tag was being used.
I would demolish Goku tacos. I like tacos.
Fuck yeah.
I would eat
So
that.
I wanted to make the point here of whenever I see a family in stores, when I'm out grocery shopping, when it's a father involved, there is no tablet, there is no phone. And this happens like 9 out of the 10 times. And what it is a lack of fatherhood in families, and that's been destroyed intentionally to make men weak, so that America can be taken over, you know. And the baby boomers signed off on that, and here we are.
Hold on, let me play devil's advocate for that scenario. Now, a lot of times, yes, it's the mom and the kids going grocery shopping, right? Dad's at work, working 12-hour shifts in the I don't know, iron smelting factory, making the same frying pan for 12 hours and trying not to lose their sanity, right?
Okay.
To bring home the bread, so that way the mom can buy groceries, put food on the table. There's that side of that, you know. That's why you don't see the dad too often with any kids, because it's usually the mom's job to raise them in the home.
Okay, is the mom
I'd say
doing
usually.
the job?
Now that's a case-by-case basis, and I can't say.
Generally, no. I would say no, they're not. They're doing
A
the
lot of
tablet.
times,
They're doing
yeah.
the easy thing. No woman here that I've known knows how to be a wife. The wife is a very underrated, unappreciated, and destroyed
Profession.
role. Yeah, a role that women are naturally born for. That's been destroyed and killed, and the corpse tossed out the airlock for feminism and working a 9 to 5 and paying taxes, living like a man. sort of thing.
For being sussy.
So that still is in marriages. You know, how long before that woman's like, you didn't pay enough attention to me, I'm divorcing you and taking half the kids, and you get to pay for my lifestyle for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
That's going to
alimony
happen.
is not a good comfortable topic with me. I don't like the idea of, oh, I had a specific standard of life, when I was with you, and now I want to keep that after we're gone.
Exactly.
That's not how that should work.
No, of course not. But it was implemented because of Ronald Reagan, I believe, in no-fault divorce in California, where even if the person cheats, then they're not liable for anything. No fault. And I'm like, that's horrible. That's horrible.
Now, I don't think they should be sentenced to prison for that or whatever, sure, but at the same time, I shouldn't be paying for their entire lifestyle for the equal portion of how many years we've been married up until they find another person, which even then, real life scenario here, my grandpa divorced his ex-wife, got remarried to my grandma, and his ex-wife was milking alimony and didn't tell him she was getting remarried and was still cashing those alimony checks even after she got remarried, which is a big no-no.
Well, it doesn't matter because recently there was a woman that killed 2 people and only got 14 years from a DUI, drunk killing. And she only got 14 years. What if it was the dude? Life. Probably execution. Yeah. So
yeah,
women are not held to the same standards.
They would take the 4 horses, they would tie up each one of his limbs and just...
Okay, calm down. Whoa, slow down, Maurice.
Yes.
But like I said, women are like, well, they can still give birth, so they're more valued than men. Men are just, yeah, and it's like, well, no.
Until they're 30 or 40? 40.
Geriatric pregnancies are still, if you have downy kids, it's still a kid. You still, you know, it's like, it's a horrible realization I had when I started comparing the notes between men and women when it came to sentencing. So I'm like, wow, they are lenient towards women because of vagina. Wow. Yeah. What does Enoch say? Modern women want to chase the bag rather than prioritize their family's well-being. Yep. They have been told they can be like a man, so all right, go live life like a man.
Yeah, well, they want the rights of it, but not the responsibilities of it.
Women in a nutshell.
No, honestly, there's also men these days that don't want the responsibilities as a man, so they try and mangle themselves to be a woman, and well, that's a different topic. It's heated, but
well,
no, it's naturally tough being a man. It's also naturally tough being a woman. There's downsides. We don't bleed out of ourselves every month.
I don't give a crap about physical stuff. I disagree with you on that, Louie.
That's messy and nasty.
You are born with inherent value as a woman. You are born with it. Men have to earn it.
Yes, that's the difference. That's what I was saying. There's a up and down.
Giving birth and bleeding out of your puniti hole. Consistently, yeah, that sounds aggravating. Being a man that has no value and you can be tossed aside at any whim, and the only reason you're loved is because of what you do, I think would be a bit harder. You have to prove every day, and you have to work hard and give your body, heart, and soul everything to just be noticed or looked at as a potential partner, while women are like, I don't like him, he's too short, somebody's paying me for lunch here and there, I get to feel free and validated, and the world revolves around me, because men build society for women to live comfortably in. If you have an entire gender working for you and simping for you, your life is not hard. Not yet.
Well,
not when these simps can't defend you because they're too weak, and strong evil men take over. Well, then your life is going to be hard. But they don't think about that because they can't. I don't think women have the ability to comprehend permanent decisions or consequences, permanent consequences of decisions. They can't comprehend that. I don't think so. I haven't seen it. You know, it's rare, sure, but generally speaking, that's what we need to talk about, because that's what's going to matter. You know, I like it when people come up and they're like, well, you know, this so and so in my personal experience, does that mean anything to the general population? No.
No, it does not.
I'll deal with you on a personal basis, but generally speaking, no. This is because this is where we're heading. We're getting laws like this that's making it harder for men. Now, I wanted to ask you this, Louie.
Yeah.
They are making this law because they don't want minors to be exposed to explicit material.
That's a good intention.
That's a good intention. However, what's going to happen is, here's what I'm thinking. The main porn sites where everything's heavily regulated anyway, you know, like Pornhub or I think X videos and stuff like that.
The more wholesome ones that have...
more wholesome. No, but the ones that are at least monitored more, right?
Yeah, they have a bigger eye on them, so they regulate their content somewhat.
Right, they regulate their content somewhat. They at least have more, compared to other websites.
They have standards.
Other websites like XNX, which isn't, or any other ones, are not. Like anything else outside the main ones that haven't been affected yet, the kids are going to go towards that. Or
I'm calling it now. The next generation is going to start learning Taiwanese and start going to Taiwanese ladyboys.
They're going to see even more fucked up shit. What they've done is basically gotten rid of like a lesser evil for people to, or you know.
100%, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going towards like worse shit. Headache's laughing at you, Ivan. Wholesome.
You know, strangely, there were some like wholesome, like you'd have comment threads on some of those videos, and people would be like, "Hey, how do I solve this?" Whenever on my homework, and people would give detailed answers in just the weirdest. It's a very strange ideology, honestly. If I could actually argue, at one point, I'm not saying now, but at one point, PRON Hub was like almost reverse 4chan in a way, because they took anonymity and they instead rode with it. You had weird people that were like saying all sorts of nasty stuff, but then you had people that were saying, okay, maybe no, it wasn't reverse 4chan, it's the anonymity factor, which actually I did a college paper on.
Yeah, look, Pornhub has no anonymity for women. The problem is...
Oh yeah, they got their names on there.
Yes. They can say no at any point.
Let me segue at this actually. Mia Khalifa, a very famous one of them. Now yeah. she wants to live a private life and thinks nothing of it.
No.
Anyone kind of associate it. You name drop a name like, say, what was this? The man that's been an astronaut, a doctor, Johnny Sins, right? I don't think. Yeah, anyone that's within that kind of famousness of that, Ron Jeremy, they're going to walk into a grocery store, people, and be like, I've seen you naked, in their head.
It doesn't affect men the same way as it affects women. So
I was getting to that, jeez. But I'm saying that you just... Yeah, you can't live a normal lifestyle selling your body like that. It's a horrible way of saying it, but the prawn actors are essentially professional prostitutes. There's no way of putting it.
Who are the most consumers of porn or prawn, Louie?
Typically men.
Nope.
Typically men.
Nope.
No?
No, consumers, people who pay for it, people who do it, people who live the lifestyle as women. They buy dildos, they buy vibrators, they buy all this stuff. Not a whole lot of men have fleshlights. Not a whole lot of men have consumed physically, like the consumerism, like buying it or doing anything like that. Subscriptions, not really, no.
There's just a naughty DVD they just crush up and put in their like bowl of oatmeal in the morning.
Right. It's free for guys, and women buy stuff. This was proven by Hammerhand. I recommend watching his channel.
So this was a way of trying to equalize things in their eyes, to try and make it more fair, because women have to buy, fake meat.
So you can't make women and men fair. It's impossible.
It's like comparing apples to oranges.
Stop it. You can crossbreed them, make this amalgamate of disgusting flesh with arms and legs that aren't there supposed to be there.
Hey, you leave lemons alone. They are the perfect child. They are the perfect child between apples and oranges.
Mia Khalifa is an idiot. Mia Khalifa is a deranged, narcissistic, idiot, disgusting person. You know,
Oh.
recently she's been coming out and she got divorced. Surprise, surprise. Don't marry prawn stars. Don't ever. I'm not going to tell you not to have sex with them. I don't care. They wanted to be used. They wanted to be in that. They signed
hold
off
up.
on thousands and thousands of dollars.
Let me interject. Someone said that OnlyFans is dying due to AI generated content. I actually have a relative that draws, well, prawn for a living, and the AI generated content does not sit well with him at all.
He could go cry. Oh no.
Well, just imagine you spend years and years trying to learn how to draw hands because hands are terrible, and in AI, people just sit there and just click generate, and they hit the lottery wheel until they finally get a half decent looking one.
I wish Gray was here.
In the midst of all the Eldritch horrors and all the octopus videos.
Freaking just be like, well, if you keep hitting generate, you're just gonna keep asking the Nephilim to appear because the Nephilim have 6 fingers, and then that's what the AI generates is because they're fallen angels, demons being
the underground elves or something.
I love End Times Productions, but gosh darn it, he look at this AI talking to demons. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh no.
Oh my gosh, it's funny sometimes. So
yeah. What were we back at topic? Sorry, Mia Khalifa.
Mia Khalifa started by just basically getting her. What is she, Libyan or no? She's from a very high-end conservative Muslim country. She came over to America, was like, oh, I'm not living as rich as I want to, so I'm gonna sell my body and get a boob job. Before I do that.
She's actually got a Wikipedia entry. She's famous enough for that.
Yeah, and
she's Lebanese.
Lebanese, that's right. And her entire family disowned her, rightfully so, when she did that. And now she's complaining. It's like, you purposely went out of your way to disrespect your family. I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, you can choose to do prawn, but here are the consequences for that. You're only going to be used up until like you're 40. They're starting to push MILF and stepmom categories into people's faces because the old porn stars are being swapped out for the younger ones, and those old prawn stars don't like that, so they're making a bitch about it. Sorry that we like young, fertile women to keep the species alive, but Mia Khalifa is like in her 30s, so she's old. She's not fertile. There's younger women now. Probably with better tits.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's flipping wiener. She used to flip burgers, now she's flipping wieners. So, yeah. All right, I'm gonna continue down, and then we'll talk more.
Yeah. Put it in perspective. Yes, Arabic religions are very strict. So are Mormon religions. So that's a good segue to go back to the topic at hand of the entirety of this stuff getting banned in.
Louie, you're like a single burst AR-15, while I'm like a shotgun that just like.
AR-15? I'm insulted.
You're single and precise, and you're able to get this stuff on the.
Again, I'm insulted.
Basis.
There's no good marksmanship with that terrible plasticky. I hate how everyone uses that as a buzzword. That is such a bad platform. There's so many good models.
You're precise and concise.
I am a gun nut, and I will say that I do not like the Armalite. Okay. That's my hot take.
I was making a comparison to my way of communicating.
M16, that would be good. Yes. No. If you're gonna bring up a good gun, even take the Lee Enfield or something that is engineered good, not some guy 3D printed plastic looking Lego blocks and threw them together. Oh, but you can use a coat hanger to make it illegal. Yeah, coat hangers are very illegal.
Making a symbolic little gesture.
No.
I was making a parallel.
So I'm so fed up with that because people took gun control and made it a look at this gun. What do you think of it? I think it's terrible.
We can save that for another topic.
Well, yes, okay. I will reel my.
Son, it's just a drawing.
No. Sorry, I dislike plasticky cheap products that try and make themselves look like they're the forefront of things. Oh, like Apple. Nah,
Man,
okay.
you're not gonna like
Segue.
dildos. Anyway, through Harold. Okay, let's see. Now you okay. The wave will continue because the harms are real, she said. These kids can't unsee what they see.
All right.
Well, it sounds like you're just terrible parents. The parents are responsible, and you are trying to advocate to remove the burden of parents being parenting.
Yeah.
So, heralded by social conservatives, age verification laws have been condemned by adult websites who argue that they are part of a larger anti-sex political movement. They've also garnered opposition from groups that advocate for digital privacy and free speech, including the Electronic Frontier Foundation. The group argued earlier this year that it's impossible to ensure websites don't retain user data, regardless of if age verification laws require they delete it. Earlier this week, PRON Hub, among the most widely viewed adult websites, blocked access to its content to protest the law. Those in Utah attempting to access the site since Monday have been greeted with a "Dear User" letter and an accompanying video from adult film actor Cherry DeVille. Is this a dude or is this a...
No,
Sorry,
I think it's like Cruella DeVille from like the 101
actor.
Dalmatians.
This is a chick, actress, fucking typo. Idiot. Whoever is working at PBS Kids, that's it.
I think you can derive actor or actress. Come on, man.
I'm being facetious.
Feces-ish.
Palm and grabber mistake reaches into the screen, pulls the guy's balls. Giving your ID card every time you want to visit an adult platform is not the most effective solution for protecting our users, DeVille says. Reading from the letter, the best and most effective solution for protecting children and adults alike is to identify users by their device. The parents.
Oh, I almost made a joke about that just now. I'll just leave it at they're gonna start giving us ID numbers. You have fun with whatever I was gonna say.
The letter says PRON Hub will completely disable access in Utah due to the law unless a real solution is offered. It's unclear if the other websites will comply. Critics, including PRON Hub, argue age verification laws can be easily circumvented with well-known tools such as VPNs that reroute requests to visit websites across public networks.
Oh, yeah.
They also have raised questions about enforcement, with PRON Hub saying enforcement efforts drive traffic to less known sites that don't comply with the law and have fewer safety protocols. I just talked about it. I just said that's what... that's
we're kind of agreeing with them in a way.
Look, give us families and wives, this won't be an issue. But you won't, because you don't want men to have anything in life. You want them to be good little slaves.
You gotta earn it, man.
Yeah, good little slave. No, here's the thing. You want us to be not doing prawn? It's one or the other. Gordon Ramsay, the fucking retarded, the stupid boomer who was like, you need to kick your kids out of the house and you get disabled prawn and you need to live a holy life. And it's like, dude, you do that, you are going to burn down your city, because all you're doing is putting all these young men with all this testosterone homeless. They're all going to talk to each other. You know what they're going to say? Wow, Gordon Ramsay has too many houses. Now it's our houses. That's what's going to happen.
Do you think that the future is going to be like that one deleted scene of RoboCop where there's just a gang of people running around with their junk out?
I think that's the feminist utopia. Yeah. I think that's how feminists see themselves. And just walking to the grocery store, they think a horde of men with their wieners flopping everywhere walking towards them.
Okay, I will say Gordon Ramsay, he does some good fish and chips, but
Dave Ramsey. Sorry, Dave Ramsey's, not Gordon Ramsay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay. Dave Ramsey's a stupid boomer.
Who's Dave Ramsey? I'm gonna have to
look up Hammerhand Dave Ramsey.
I'm just gonna do Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey.
Ramsby.
His entire spiel is pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Bootstraps.
But, yeah. How about the next person who tells me to do that? I'm gonna hang you with your bootstraps.
What is Dave Ramsey's famous quote? If you live like no one else, later you can live like no one else.
He is from a different time where he still thinks that applies now.
Time.
Yeah, an easier time.
a more simpler time.
I'm going to continue on with the paragraph.
Yeah.
A year after passing an age verification requirement, Louisiana lawmakers have renewed their efforts to get adult websites to comply with its law. A follow-up measure that would subject the sites to fines for not requiring users prove their age advance through the State House of Representatives in April. Measures have also been introduced in Arizona and South Carolina. Arkansas passed a similar age verification law for adult websites that take effect later this summer. The Utah law attempts to address privacy and internet data harvesting concerns by requiring websites not retain the ID information. It opens adult websites up to lawsuits if they don't verify the age of their users. It offers several age verification methods, including third-party age verification services and digital licenses that states are increasingly offering on mobile devices. It builds off years of anti-PRON efforts in Utah's Republican-controlled legislature, where a majority of lawmakers are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. It comes 7 years after Wheeler, who describes himself as the state's House unofficial PRON Caesar, led the charge to make Utah the first state to declare pornography a public health crisis. And 2 years after lawmakers passed a measure paving the way to require internet capability devices to be equipped with PRON filters for children, provisions of the law delay it from taking effect unless at least 5 other states pass similar measures. What do you make of that?
Honestly, it's very... There's no right way of enforcing this, because
what you are doing, in my opinion, are doing, in my opinion, you are increasing young men who are developing themselves, since the parents are not doing anything and won't do anything because parenting has been destroyed. You have weak fathers with mothers who are probably cucking them, and they're probably raising not their own child. You have that as a majority here. Utah's not safe from that. Utah has it everywhere, as far as I'm concerned. They're just the same as a liberal state, in my opinion. So what you're doing is you're further punishing young men who are going to be more awkward, are going to be pursuing women more in middle school and high school without their parents helping them kind of deal with that. These kids are now going to approach women, and you're going to have incidences more than you would have. You see, PRON is right now a sedative for young men, and
a way to suppress your hormonal instincts so you don't start running around.
Right, it's a sedative. Is it a good one? No, I wouldn't argue it to be good, but it's there, and it's you take that away, well, you're gonna have so many more issues coming up. Am I advocating
let
for
me play
kids?
advocate.
Of course not. That's not what I'm saying.
Let me play devil's advocate on the other side. Do they require your driver's license when people buy dildos and stuff and other things? Because women primarily don't even use PRON. They use that. So do they require that? Do you have to be a certain age to buy those? I'm just trying to play even ground here if we're gonna go on that.
Look, consuming physical products is a different thing than internet online access. If you're going to do this with PRON, you're going to have to do this with everything. There is no you can do this here in little bits here and little bits here. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, they used to have something called call lines or whatever, where they would
was that asking for age verification and IDs? No.
No. People could just call anonymous. Well, I wouldn't say anonymously. They would bill your phone bill, and then you'd have to pay lots and lots of cash for that just to hear someone moan into a microphone.
It's probably a dude most of the time. The original trap.
That industry is why we're running out of helium.
Goddamn sex phone operator stealing all my helium.
No, there's a really hard line to draw with where it comes through.
Exposed to this stuff. That's the bottom line. However, the issue is not the evil, or not the issue isn't the
radioactive like device. I'm trying to make a comparison. The issue is not the weapon.
Parents need to be more responsible. You
Right,
just
it's
really
the
need to say
parents.
it.
But the parents are
They
weak.
keep shifting the blame on industries. They did this with video games, and now video games suck. They did this with TV shows. Now
It's
TV
ironic
shows
'cause
suck.
I think Utah has the highest amount of user PRON.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, if you look at a statistic or whatever, the highest users and the highest like subscriptions to it, like the premium stuff. So the fact that now it requires verification really hits that industry hard, because apparently this is like
So here's the
the
Salt Lake
mecca of
tribute.
being depraved.
This is a more recent one. Utah stories. Utah has a PRON problem. It's ironic. The most conservative state and shit like that, and mob conservatism has a huge amount of users with PRON. So I guess your traditionalism isn't working now, is it? Yeah, they have a I would say more on average more consumption of it. And it's ironic. All these Utahns now acting like we want to help the kids. Like, dude, you guys use it, and I guarantee in the church there's more worse stuff being used behind closed door. The church and the celibacy and all that stuff is not in the Bible, by the way.
It's all man made up.
Yeah, it's man's rules. God wants you to have a wife and have as much sex as you need, because that's what women were designed for men for. But they didn't want that, and so all this new religion of leftism came out and renounced all that, and so women ate it up in the droves because that's their nature. So I just find that funny. They're punishing everyone else because they don't want to look like they use PRON, because conservatives have this broken sense of righteousness that I do not like.
They
know, I
lie
used to-
more than those mobile game ads where they say, "Oh, how do you get the gems to the person and the lava to the water?" Those.
You take the pin out and you stab the creator. I'm just joking. I wanted to do a
I
segment
actually
on-
want to play that puzzle game.
Oh god. Puzzle games are like crack cocaine to old people, 60 and up.
Well, I'm an old man that loves his Sudoku.
You're the last remnants of an ancient time where people sat on toilets and played Sudoku.
Yes. What I do at work and get paid to do is not your business.
Alright, I'm gonna continue on.
Yes, please do.
It builds off years of PRON efforts. Okay, yeah, we get that. Wheeler likened the measure to Utah's first in the nation law prohibiting kids under 18 from using social media between the hours of 10:30 p.m. and 6:30 a.m. and requiring age verification for social media users. He said he understands that some kids may bypass age verification controls, but he said he wonders why opponents arguing enforcement concerns make internet age verification laws useless haven't raised similar concerns about their drivers speeding or online gambling. Drivers speeding or online gambling? The internet was born, but it wasn't born yesterday, he said. You sound like you were, Wheeler.
Yeah. Drivers speeding. Yeah, well, people
Haven't
in
raised
this
similar
state.
concerns about drivers speeding or online gambling. Online
Oh.
gambling? You mean the stuff that old women do?
Yeah.
Who does online gambling? I don't think it's young men.
Yeah, no, it's slot machines and that kind of thing.
If you want to make the
For-
argument, that's going to go towards video games when it comes to loot boxes. By the way, kids being access to loot boxes, 12-year-olds don't have jobs.
Yep.
Who's buying it? The parents. You are taking the parents out of the equation because you want the government to be the parent. You want the government to do everything for you. You conservatives are just like liberals, in my opinion. Especially Utah conservatives. The biggest hypocrites this nation has ever seen. And it's all silenced because Utahns have a great job. They do a great job silencing any sort of criticism when it comes to anybody speaking out about their state or their culture or their Mormonism. You don't get a whole lot of huge news outside of Utah. You don't. I don't hear it. I rarely hear Utah come up. When they do a lot of shit that would affect people, they would. I would argue that they do some shit that people need to start looking at
and start criticizing them for.
I think the biggest thing that put Utah on like the spotlight was probably when Mitt Romney ran against Obama.
But even then, I didn't hear anything more about Utah. I just heard about Mitt Romney and the Conservative Party. That's all this came out. It's like, Utah is just as bad as California on the other side of the coin, in my opinion.
Yes, because there's a cultural phenomenon where people take morality, they preach it, but they try and make the little rules and exceptions for themselves, and they say, oh, it's just recommended. They play these tricks with themselves with morality.
They gaslight themselves is what you're telling me?
Yes, yeah. They try and justify their own actions by saying, oh, no, it's only on this. Most of them practice a thing, or like, I guess you'd akin it to the Sabbath with the Jewish faith. You know, on Sundays they don't buy anything. Some are even so extreme they refuse to watch television on Sundays. But then there's people that will, in that same set of rules or that are given to them, the words of wisdom, they call it.
Yeah.
It lists, you know, no caffeinated drinks, no gambling, no smoking, no drinking.
Drinks was just a health decision, Joseph Smith.
Oh, sorry. No. No hot drinks is what it was specifically read. So they can drink Mountain Dew that has plenty of caffeine in it, and they can drink hot chocolate and tea, but it can't be coffee. So there's all these weird like mental gymnastics that the state does, and I feel like this PRON outlaw is another justification being put on the chopping block.
Look, it's a control aspect. The conservatives use the government as much as liberals use the government in their own communities. It's not widespread nationalism, no. Conservatives don't care about the state. They don't care about people. They want complete control just as much as the next liberal behind them. Just a different way. It's just a different way of doing it. You know? That's why I don't want to vote. That's why I don't want to contribute to a society that doesn't care about me in any capacity. Are you going to, if I sign up for the military,
those are votes. Those are votes taken away from Kanye. Come on.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure I would laugh my ass off if he tried to run again.
I would vote for him a third time.
Poor guy. I think he's autistic. I feel for the guy. I think he just needs a father. He needed a father. Like a lot of young men. I think that was what he needed.
Heck, in his songs, you can actually interpret that he grew up without a father. Or even his mom. He grew up with his grandma.
Yeah. So both parents didn't want him. That's unfortunate.
And then when he got rich and famous, maybe they'd try to look at him only just see what they could get out of him.
He just got eaten alive by the gyno system and made him a simp. And that kind of simp... Yeah. The gyno system of America, where pussy's worshipped.
Oh, okay. That sounds like some sort of like Star Wars-esque
gynocracy and stuff like that. Gynecologist, gyno meaning pussy. So,
a boss.
Utah, you haven't solved anything. In fact, you've made it even extremely more dangerous for children who are going to be like, well, I'm still curious about PRON, and I guess I'll look up other websites, and boom, you've just... Yeah, you're going to cause more issues. You're going to cause kids in middle school and in high school to be like, well, I can't get my rocks off, or I can't deal with this hormones being rampant. I guess I'll go talk to this girl and see if I get lucky. And then the girl's going to be like, ew, you're gross. You have him arrested.
Can you imagine teen pregnancies spiking as a result of this?
No, I wouldn't say teen pregnancy. I think false accusations are going to go even higher.
Oh.
You think Mormon girls are good girls? Fuck no. They're the worst of the worst.
Well, if they're not married by 23.
Grape, I would say, is going to... I don't think rise. I think false grape will be risen more throughout the state. Grape's already here in Utah. It's just committed by not Mormons. The people that they invited in for, labor. Slave labor, basically. It's unfortunate. You know, and I find it funny that they come in and they act superior to me and think I'm lesser because I don't speak Hispanic. And then I'm like, dude, you're being used by Mormons and conservatives as free labor. But I get your government money. I'm like, it's not going to mean anything.
Yeah.
Jeez. People in the world, hear me. Utah sucks. Louie, I gotta grab some more coffee. Could you entertain the guests? Get out to fight China.
I'll read through the comments and see and reply to things. Let's see. Star Wars was great until the introduction of the new trilogy. And I agree wholeheartedly. 7 teased us with a black Jedi Finn. And I thought that was kind of interesting that they would do that direction. And then they totally just swept that under the rug and said, nah, just kidding. We're not having another Mace Windu. And that kind of made me sad. And yeah, 8 I watched and I had a hard time watching it. I had never even touched 9. I just didn't even care at that point. I said, why? It's just not good anymore. It's bland. It's like if you took some sort of food and just took out all the seasoning and all the stuff that made it interesting and just it's gone. The TV shows, everyone obsesses over Mandalorian. I've seen like little snippets of it whenever I see relatives watching it, but I just don't care to sit down for hours and hours and watch some drivel that, yeah. Mandalorian was amazing until season 3. I don't even know what happens in that. They took what made them interesting and they tried to appeal to a broader audience, and they lost what made them good. And that's what's the problem with, well, just big marketing stuff. Just every time they try and a lot of corporations are based on growth, and all they see is numbers, and they think, well, let's do this direction where we'll have more numbers, we'll have more viewers if we do this decision. And then they kind of lose people because they realize...
Abraham and Afton are saying Star Wars is boring.
It is because they try to take what made it so interesting and they just ruined it all.
Star Wars movies or TV shows, the video games. That's where it's at. If you want some good Star Wars sci-fi, I would recommend that.
I heard that
sci-fi right now is 40K.
Oh yeah, everybody's jumping into 40K. I myself had some miniatures I'm putting together right now.
I just got some miniatures myself.
Yeah.
I got some Space Marines. I'm gonna make the Imperial fists.
And once that franchise tanks, when they start going all mainstream, then we jump all on Star Trek or whatever.
No, Star Trek's already mainstream.
Oh, what about the other one?
Starcraft?
The one...
That's an RTS.
Yeah, that's more Korean, and I don't think any of us could ever stand up to the extreme gamers there. We'll all get destroyed. Gamers. Well, you've seen that clip of the South Korean guy that was shrieking like a banshee when he lost a game and threw his chair through his window.
South Korea is even worse with their feminism, so
Are they?
Yeah, dude.
Huh. That very much surprises me. I work with a lot of Asians at my work, and that did not strike me as such.
Ask them about the women over in South Korea.
No thanks. They'll start trying to set me up with a mail order bride.
Yeah, because they are programmed to do that. But women, bow down to the women, bow down to the women. They're submissive little twinks. Alright, so I think I got a video we can react to.
Ibrahim, I agree. You've been neglecting your fan base, man.
The video game, perhaps just for not responding. Like, I'm sorry. I have some topics to talk about Ibrahim and Afton, and I've been talking to Henoch. Dante Chadmaster of the Blood Angels. The only reason they call themselves Blood Angels because their erections last more than 4 hours.
Hey, I've done that once. I did 12 hours.
Not everyone has a massive dick like you, Louie.
No, it's small.
Shut the fuck up.
This is hard like a diamond forever.
Feels like a skyscraper. That's something we can talk about, Louie. Hentai and all that's going to be restricted, so all the anime people...
please, no.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go to a massive... No, not my waifu. I don't have one, but still, no. They're gonna. There was actually an anime with that premise where immoral things were outlawed, and everyone in the society had to wear like collars that could detect if you swore, and the police would come and arrest you if they detected any filth. You had to wear wristbands that would detect if you were doing anything lewd, jacking off, or anything like that. So there was a whole premise where people were trying to bring back promiscuity by, I don't know, cheating the system somehow. And most kids in that setting didn't understand.
Holy crap! I didn't think this was in Utah.
Bees. What?
Caught on camera, Long Beach man drives to Utah to pew in unalive brother. I've seen this video on iFunny where the guy runs out of the house shooting at police and gets murked by a wall of lead.
Yes, 1mm stick. I found the person that uses metric. Honestly, I'm jealous. I have to use metric and standard.
Jeffrey Roberts drove to North Ogden, Utah, to unalive his estranged brother, Scott Roberts. After setting fire to his brother's home, he was unalived in a pew out with responding officers.
Hold up.
He was carrying 23 fully loaded magazines, a 12-gauge shotgun, and 150 shells. His brother's home was destroyed in the blaze. Scott's wife remains hospitalized.
Well, why is... Well, yeah.
My mom is alive because my dad fought. My dad died a hero, the couple's daughter wrote.
Oh, North Ogden. Ogden is considered the eyesore of... It's...
Oh yeah, believe me.
It's the ghetto of this desert land.
But this guy came from Long Beach, all the way from Long Beach to unalive his brother. Why? He drove 12 hours just to do that.
You know, the words people use to get around to specific buzzwords that YouTube has in place feels very much like doublethink 1984-esque stuff.
You're telling me.
PRON, unalive.
Louie has 1mm stick, while I have 5 inches. What?
I know.
No, you're not accounting for his girth. Bitches call him the plate. What was the reason for that up? What, you don't talk about wieners with your friends, Abraham? Ha!
Just shatter their pelvis with the girth.
Like cyberpunk theme plays.
Yeah, okay, I will say they dropped the ball hard because they promised that we'd be able to customize any and all dimensions of that, and they did not deliver. I did not get a fire hose that dragged behind my character. I got a barely functional Grand Theft Auto that was set in the future. Yeah, now this whole news article...
Here's a theory I have about the situation, because it doesn't say his motives. He's dead, so we'll never really understand. But
he's unalive. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's. There's been such a rise in child abuse victims coming out in Utah. You've heard about this, right? Like, there's a reason why the Rainbow Mafia is such a big deal here in the main cities, and they're on the rise because a lot of these kids have been abused in the church.
Yep.
I'm assuming, I don't know who this guy is.
Oh, priests doing things with their altar
Bishops,
boys. That's the...
Bishops have been found with numerous amounts of cheese pizza on their hard drives, and nothing's been done because the church covers it up.
Cheese pizza.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to use certain words.
No, I know, I get it.
But that's been found in a lot of Mormon churches. They cover that crap up. Yes. And I'm not saying this is the case. I'll never know. Both guys are gone, but it doesn't make any sense for someone just to drive up unless they have a history of mental illness or something like that. It doesn't seem like he is. At least from what I read.
Now, 150 shells or whatever, 12 gauges, and it's too expensive.
He was there to die. I think he was there to unalive. He wasn't getting out of there alive.
With the price of ammo these days, he was definitely dedicated for sure.
he went in knowing that once I do this, I'm done. My life is over, and I'm gonna go out blazing. Even though he walks right out the front door and gets shot by all the police, like, what an idiot. Well, he couldn't clutch the 1v5, dumbass.
The 1v5.
What I was gonna say is, the only thing I can think of, if it isn't mental illness or sort of like some sort of final break in his sanity, is he probably found something out about his brother that would urge him to commit this act. So that's the only sane reason that this situation would happen. Like, if you found out your brother was doing that in the church to probably numerous kids. I'm not saying that that's the issue. I'm saying this is the only thing that would make sense since we have nothing. So I'm just theorizing because that is a huge issue in Utah.
Or he drank his Mountain Dew. Let me smell your breath.
Yeah, it could be that.
No, in all seriousness, that is a pretty horrible
Here's
situation.
a rule of thumb. Growing up in middle school and in high school, I never knew a girl that I talked to that wasn't abused sexually in some way.
Yep.
It's that bad.
So then, the idea, going back to this, with the state ID verification, are they just trying to get kids to be less aware of what that stuff is, so that way they can get away with more of that kind of interaction then?
Well, manipulation tactics and cover-ups and stuff like that have been around since the dawning of man. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, keeping kids ignorant it's a parent thing, really. It's a innocence. I don't know. I don't know about that one, Louie.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the lawmakers doing this, and so they have a motivation.
Bro, this guy reminds of Murphy Lawden, since Murphy went all the way from Foundation Y to Mars to get to Foundation, and which is in Mars to Kill. And you wonder why I don't interact with the chat when you guys can't make coherent sentences.
No, man, he's talking about Murphy as in Murphy from RoboCop, right?
Look, the way he wrote it, I'm like, what the hell? From Foundation Y to Mars to get to Foundation A, which is in Mars to kill Dr. No, I think I'm just an idiot. So is he okay? RoboCop. Just say RoboCop. Murphy, I think in Jack Murphy. So I think that guy just loved SCP, and his favorite character was Murphy Lawden. So he tried to do a cool thing. The only difference is he carried a pistol, not a Magnum revolver. Exactly. I'm lost, Louie.
I don't understand it myself. Give us context, Ibrahim and Afton. What's going on?
If you don't, we'll have to go over there and commit haram.
I'll eat a strip of bacon right in front of you. I'll do it too.
I think it actually would be shot on sight. Oh
no.
man. What other news in Utah that we can pick at?
Oh, for the relevant topic of this video, which we have not really kept on topic.
No, we have. I think we did. Been doing.
Alright, well.
Is Utah the #1 place for PRON user?
The secure, contain, protect. Oh, we're talking about securing, containing, and protecting, but just not in that universe. It's more or less just for kids looking at videos of naked people. Which, yeah, is not a good thing, honestly.
Here's a questionnaire. I'm kind of Googling stuff and just trying to see exactly where Utah is. Potential studies in 2009. They consume a lot of porn. Yeah, they do. People say they don't. Desert News, which is the Utah Desert News. It's like, Utah doesn't lead in pornography consumption. Data tell a different story. The website.
Yeah, that clears up who Jack Murphy is. Thank you.
Yeah.
I acknowledge it.
Utah PRON sites most verified users are adults. Here's how. Yeah. Desert News.
It's kind of a bubble type effect because, well, Utah has the highest usage.
Well, what is the power? Okay, we should talk about the modern-day saints.
Hey, they were just trying to relate to the news thing that you brought up.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it was, man.
Yeah, the guy's name was Murphy. unalive his brother. Yeah. We were theorizing because it makes no sense for a guy just to come to Ogden, Utah, where it's Ogden, Utah. Why would you ever come here? Nobody wants to come to Utah, and I don't blame him.
Well, Utah itself is pretty bland, but Ogden is ghetto and bland. So
Ghetto and bland. Yeah.
We were just theorizing on why that happened because we have nothing and we won't get anything. But we can talk about the LDS people. They consume a lot of prawn. I mean, Louie, how many people have you run to that always like who were Mormon, but then you found something on their computer and it was like weird shit? How many times does that happen? Like you talk to people while you're going to school or shit like that where they just acted weird and they had weird fetishes and they seemed like the most Mormon person ever.
Oh, you mean the whole the closeted weirdness? Yeah. That, in high school there was quite a bit of that. Middle school not so much because there was still a lot of naivety. But people got more bold in high school.
I'm going to say this. I think the lawmakers who've done this law, they probably have huge amounts of prawn. They passed a bill and they're not getting satisfied by the woman they married. So they have to go to the prawn. So women aren't fulfilling their side of the bargain with marriage. And so I reckon that every single guy who passed this law has stacks of prawn on their hard drive. And they're a bunch of freaking hypocrites.
I can see that, yeah.
So they're just going to cause more issues. Utah is going to have a rise in a lot of false accusations, a lot of assault, a lot of stuff, aggravations going to rise, especially in households. Divorces are going to skyrocket, I would think, because the men are either going to go out and cheat because their women that they're married to won't satisfy them.
Right.
Divorce is going to go up, men can't satisfy themselves, and shit's going to happen. Shit will happen. And it's like, yeah, of course you can go around it with VPNs, but who's going to put in effort? Who puts in effort in anything when it comes to this? If it isn't on the plate immediately, you have to get out from your fat ass to go get your food. Of course, people are they're gonna not put any effort. Or they will, and this won't be an issue, but hey.
Well, actually, there is a search trend going on right now. You can actually look it up on Google. There's a lot of people searching up VPNs in the past week. A lot of people.
Well, since our data is kind of localized here in Utah, I think that kind of reflects all that.
No.
All right, Louie, what are your thoughts? How are you gonna get your hentai now?
How am I gonna get my hentai now?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I haven't thought that far. I guess I'll just have to move out of this state to a more free place known as Japan. No, I'm just kidding. That's actually much more strict on those laws. Like much more constrictive.
Yeah, you're headed to Japan in the summer, right?
Yeah, as a trip, yeah.
Okay. Don't get baby trapped.
It's more or less just I like Pokemon. That's all.
The pocket monsters. Are you gonna catch a little punny?
I'm gonna catch a low punny, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
No, Louie. Don't do it, Louie.
Batman, there's no laws against the Pokemon.
No, I'm joking. Don't. Beautiful.
I love that. That one skit or whatever the heck you want to call it. That was a good.
Gosh darn it! They still don't have Pokemon models being uploaded.
Yep, can't get it. First source filmmaker?
Yeah, source filmmaker. So the stuff on SFM Lab is not ported correctly, so the textures are missing.
No.
So when you go to like edit the textures and stuff, they'll be like have that purple and black grid. That just indicates that there's missing textures or that textures weren't. So the Heracross that I want to make for Kite and Chaz and turn him into his little beetle avatar, That's
Right.
that is corrupted. So, and I have tried 10 different times to get it. So Louie can't get his hentai. He is going to what's he gonna do in the meantime? Is he gonna commission me to make hentai?
No,
You want
actually,
Louie
that might
McGraff?
be that might be another avenue. You brought up a good topic. Yeah, people are just gonna go and find different other ways. I mean, let's see, the infamous OnlyFans, is that also on the chopping block for this law or not?
No, that's I didn't say.
Yeah, so that's open an
Hold on, I
interpretation
can
that
take
people
a
might
quick
get pushed into.
search.
Yes. Well, you log out so you don't show off your subscriptions, you sicko. Just kidding. Yeah.
I'm not seeing any like blocked walls or anything like that to log into the website. I guess since it's a site you have to log into and everything, you have to already verify your age. So, no, it's not locked. It's not locked out.
Okay. Yeah. And
Bro, I was just scrolling through YouTube when I found a thumbnail of a hentai robot getting from the behind. Was it Jenny XJ9? Because if that's the case, I want you to go find Zone 10 and kill her. Sorry, unalive her.
yeah, there you go.
In Minecraft. Don't do that.
Oh, actually, that's another thing you brought up.
No,
Those
please.
kinds of creators. Yes. You brought up zones, so you have to deal with this topic. You think they're gonna get a revival resurgence for demand?
I'm about to get Cytrus.
Are people gonna start going for low punny now that normal prawn is banned? Are we gonna get
prawn? Louie, what are your thoughts about like cartoon prawn parodies? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, might as well. They have a place. They have a place for certain folk, I guess. Different folks, different strokes.
Folks, where do you come up with this shit? I can hate you.
Yeah.
God damn.
Hey, you put me on the spotlight there.
Fine, that was my mistake. Cartoon prawn. You want to talk about kids getting access to stuff when they shouldn't? Yeah. Thanks a lot, Mom. Thanks a lot, Dad. I've been
Can you imagine
my Zone 10 for the rest of my life.
No, let's let's take Elsa from Frozen, right?
No.
Yeah, let's do that.
Not take her.
Little Susie's like, I love Elsa. I'm gonna look her up on Google, and next thing you know, she pulls up a very weird picture of Elsa doing things. And who do we have to blame for that? Do we have the parents for not looking after the kid?
Yeah. They had
Or do we have the website itself for hosting such a thing, and Google for even pulling that up? Who's to blame in that circumstance for little Susie losing her innocence and then becoming an
I'll talk about my
actress?
personal experience here, and I think it's a bit eye-opening in a certain regard. So get ready.
Yes.
When I had questions when I first wanted to learn about what was going on with my body, with like why am I being attracted to girls, what's going on, Mom, Dad, can you help me? Shut up. Oh, dude, go talk to your mom, fuck you. That's what my dad would say, and then my mom would be like, you can't hurt women.
Your mic just peaked out like crazy. I heard nothing of that.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and do this as calmly as I can. Let me try again, because I don't think anybody heard me.
No.
I would go and talk and be like, Mom, Dad, what's happening to me? My mom would be like, you can't do that to women, you can't. She'd just scream and yell at me for getting boners or stuff like that.
Bonars.
And my dad's like, go talk to your mom, fuck you, I don't care. It's like, can somebody help me? What's going on? So, you know
Remember
what
as
I
a
did?
kid sitting down and getting the random, just no reason bonars?
Yeah, you know what I did since nobody was talking to me or helping me out? Google, what is bonar?
What is bonar?
I see all these
Google?
sex jokes and stuff like that. I'm like, what is bonar? then you go on Newgrounds because you can't look up Google, prawn sites. Newgrounds is just a flash animation stuff.
And so you get on there and what is bonar, or I think Princess Peach is sexy, and stuff like that into the search bar, and you come up with all types of stuff. Thank you, Corey, by the way, Spaz Kid, for the trauma I endured with the Peach hentai collab that made me sick to my stomach.
He did a great service
Him
that
and
day.
that group decided to just destroy my entire innocence on that. And so I'm like, that's probably not what I'm looking for. I think this is just crude humor. Even as a kid, I was like, yeah, this is just stupid butt humor and shit like that.
All right.
Because
You brought up a topic again, then. Why is there such a huge need?
I'm not done yet, Louie. I'm gonna
All right.
be very vulnerable here.
All
So
right.
I run into Zone Town, and she's making all these parodies and everything. I'm like, and that's how I had to kind of hide it. I had to extremely hide it, because anytime my mom would be on the computer, the family computer, and see any of that, it was hell on earth. She would scream, abuse us. Anytime I have a safety with PRON, so it's like PRON's not going to hurt me. PRON's not going to abuse me. PRON's not going to scream at me and hurt me. PRON isn't going to leave or anything like that. And that's all because my mom
cigarettes never come back.
Right, my mom did permanent damage to me with that. Instead of sitting me down and be like, look, I understand you're going through something, and here's how it goes, and I really wish your father would do it, but he won't do it, and this is the best thing I can do, is just to tell you, like, you shouldn't be ashamed of yourself, or this is natural. I would advise you go and talk to actual girls and try to establish a relationship, but understand what this sex is, and this is how you should deal with it. None of that was told. I just got yelled at and screamed at and abused, and the only thing I had was PRON to show me exactly how it is. And it wasn't until later I realized, okay, I kept it a secret, and I stayed away from girls because, well, girls would scream and yell at me if I was interested in them in that way. So I decided not to approach women throughout middle school, even high school. When I started getting attention in high school, it scared the absolute hell out of me. My first kiss, I had a panic attack and threw up.
Ew.
Yeah, I don't talk about that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't talk about that kind of stuff. So, Zone 10 is nothing personal, kid. Teleports behind you, sort of thing. It's like the way I had to learn was through Zone, unfortunately.
Well, so in that topic then, do you think your life would have been different if you'd never experienced any of that? Would you have had a more natural, normal interaction with the
if
female?
My parents gave a fuck, sure. But
So
my dad
then
didn't
that
care.
route back to
My dad left us in the hands of a psychotic woman. He didn't care as long as he was getting out. That's all I cared. That's all he cared about. It's like, no, thanks, Dad. Thanks for nothing. Thanks for leaving us with her, and we're gonna basically have a horrible life. We still kind of do in some regards, but I've learned a lot. I understand why. You know, my mom's the one that chose him, so she led him into her paniti. I hold both accountable for different reasons. So,
yeah. So, back to the topic at hand then. This whole move towards, with the intention of protecting kids from getting exposed at a young age and not understanding what it is, I think it still falls onto the parents for not wanting to explain what that is, or to maybe be more guiding about that sort of topic, because it's a natural thing to be curious about the other gender. It's a natural thing to want to explore that. It's not anything shameful that in the West we've been brought up to think it is shameful.
Right, it was attempted to, I think, to destroy young men's incentive and make them docile little bitches.
To make them a little into, maybe.
To make simps.
Yep.
Make simps, soy boys, whatever, betas.
Little boys of soys.
Little boys with soys, as Louie would say.
The soy sauce.
Basically, PRON is not the
enemy here.
Enemy. Well, it is.
It's a byproduct of it.
No, it's a sedative. It's the sedative, but it's not the issue.
No, the issue at hand is neglecting parent.
It's government being the parent. Government will tell your kids what to watch. Government will tell them what to think. And conservatives are eating it up because woman and traditionalism, even though they're not, they're just as gynocentric and feminist as the liberal. Just in different ways.
Yep. And that's a clash of, well, what do you call it? Ideologies, but in the end, I still would like to assert that it's actually just the parents wanting to take the easy way. It's easy to just say no, do it because I'm the older one, do it because I said so. It's hard to actually sit down and say
the authority.
It takes both. I'm gonna have to argue that point. You need a dynamic. You can't just have one controlling it over the other. There's a lot of issues that come from the other one. I actually grew up without a mother in the household for most of my life, and that has different consequences.
Well,
you need a nuclear family.
It shows that people who are raised without a mother do better, if not the same as a two-parent household, whereas single mothers have the reverse, do worse, if not equal.
Yes.
Which I would say majority is worse. Single fathers give better or equal than a two-parent household.
Yeah,
I mean, look at your life right now. Despite everything that's happened, you are I would say and argue, very successful with your college training, your job, and your smartness and resilience and discipline. Versus me, who had basically two parents, but had a weak father and an overbearing mother who did permanent damage, and my father let it happen because he was too weak to save his own kids. The authority lies with the father naturally. You can't take that away. That's how humans were designed. The father has inherent authority and respect from the child because it is programmed in them.
There is a tendency for that, yes. And
So,
I would
it's not
argue
with the
also the father instills discipline in a lot of households, and the mother instills nurturing in a lot of households. There's a
Which is more important
need
is
for
the
that.
argument.
That's not for me to decide, for everybody involved.
I would say discipline is more important. This is my opinion.
Discipline, what we need in this country, and just in this world, would actually be more beneficial, I would agree, yes. Nurturing does have its place, though. You need to learn compassion as a human being, because growing up, there's kids that are just straight psychotic. They're
Who the
case
hell
in
is
point.
this? Hey, it's the Sponge Man. Welcome, the Sponge Man.
Psychotic?
Very.
This is just cringe.
Oh, okay.
Welcome,
It's been a long
the
time.
Sponge Man.
It's Ben. Dude, how you been?
Well, just working, doing
It's
college
Chaz.
stuff.
Chaz is in the chat. Chaz is chatting in the chat. Fuck
Hey.
compassion. He says fuck compassion, Louie. I think
Oh.
you can learn compassion from a father,
Yeah,
but it's not
yeah.
the main thing.
A
I
good
think-
father.
I think, yeah, we're discussing that Utah has force ID for PRON right now.
What?
Yeah, so there was a law that was passed, and if you try to log into PRON Hub or try to go onto PRON Hub, you are blocked because Utah has been blocked from PRON Hub because of these laws forcing people to use IDs.
Is Prawn Hub like a porn site for fish?
PRON Hub? I'm saying PRON because porn is not a word you
Oh,
can really
prom!
say. PRON.
Oh,
I'm
no.
using a synonym.
He's
Louie,
trying to get.
Oh, okay. I thought
He's
I
trying
was
to
like,
get past the censorship.
Gotcha. I was
Now,
like,
now he's going
Louie,
to
you
get
were right.
banned.
You were right.
It is for fish.
yeah, I was like, prawn, huh?
Actually, imagine a website you can set it up right now where it's just straight up fish. Like just live stream your aquarium and you'd make so much money.
Chaz
Oh
literally
my
just
god,
woke
look at
up.
that. Look at that. Oh, how it just. Oh, all of those pins.
You know, actually watching fish swim is very relaxing. Honestly, it's just you can just zone out to that.
So we're discussing that and the effects it's going to have. The argument on the conservative hypocrite Mormon side is that they're trying to protect kids from going on websites that says like all you've done is made it easier for them to go onto more sketchier websites that can bypass that law.
The ones that don't abide by laws.
Yeah, the ones that don't abide by laws.
Yeah, they're probably going to look at stuff that's like
much worse.
Very distasteful. Yes.
Right. It's going to be even worse for them, and they are subject to that more because we
All
have.
right. Let me put it in this terms. With like say with gun laws, you're only dissuading the people that actually follow laws. You're inviting people that don't follow laws and make much worse things much worse.
Exactly. So we're affected by that. We can't log into here on Utah. SpongeBob, you moved to Idaho, right? You're in Idaho.
Don't out me.
Yeah, he's getting doxxed now. They're gonna take away all his potatoes now. You did a great job just now.
Well, you are not in Utah. Me and Louie are. You're
Yes.
staying in Idaho for a bit, and then you're moving somewhere else to Antarctica.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
thinking about Antarctica just because, like, once the zombies start coming, it's the best place to go. 'Cause,
Be
you
careful
know,
of the
they all
fallen
breed.
angels that live underneath the mountains in Antarctica. You might die. You might get blown up. Man, I love that kind of rabbit hole of stuff. So, I think Idaho though is on the next law that's going to be passed there because Louisiana was the first one. Then you have Utah, and anything that Utah usually forwards, Idaho will follow, and then vice versa. Those two.
Well,
I
they
just
don't
gotta
have a
get a
BYU
BDN.
campus. Yeah, exactly. That's how everyone's getting past it. So they've proven that these laws don't work.
And you
Yeah,
just, it's not just they don't work, it's that you've now made the people who, like I said, are lazy to just go and find worse websites.
No. Not only that, that law requires that it has reciprocity in all 50 states or just globally to be effective. And then, like Citrus said, Citrus, Lemon Man,
Stop it.
they're
Mm.
they're-
Do
It's-
you
it's
go
a-
to lemon parties often there, Mr. Lemon?
Oh,
yeah, that's another website.
Ban SpongeMan immediately.
Band,
Sorry.
the band hammer. No,
Right.
that actually, yeah, they're gonna start finding more depraved, more messed up content like that website.
And I would argue that Utahns and the LDS Church have even more depraved stuff on their hard drive. The people who make these laws probably have worse stuff saved on their hard drives because they're not getting any actions from their wives. So,
Ouch.
yeah, that's the thing. It's a bunch of hypocrisy. They probably have a whole shit ton of stuff saved on their computers at home. And they're like, well, I don't want kids to be damaged. Like, you're a fucking idiot.
I don't know. All right. I'm gonna say it. This might be me growing up as a kid. I thought I wasn't worthy for women. You know, like I thought they were sacred. I mean, I believe women are still, you know, important, but I was like afraid of them. It was like, oh no, if I go look at porn, I'm a horrible, dirty person, stuff like that. But then
Right.
as I grew older, and I suppose I went through a stage, and yeah, I went through the whole porn thing. But after a while, I just got like desensitized to the point where I was like, you know, this is just human nature. I don't need to
Be ashamed of it.
yeah, I don't need to be ashamed of it. And then of course I wasn't such a chronic masturbator anymore.
You know, everybody goes through that phase, honestly. Yeah.
And then after that, I was just like, women are people just like men, and I was able to talk to them socially. I didn't look at them as sexual objects.
Chaz,
like they.
you can join in whenever you want.
Sorry.
The more the better. So I'm talking to the chat. Chaz, you can join in whenever you want. You should be the chat should be open if you want to join in.
Oh, I didn't know there was a. Well,
Chaz, Kite and Chaz, I did a few streams with him. He's a YouTuber, just like you,
Yeah.
SpongeMan.
well.
Unlike you,
Anyways,
Louie.
I didn't. I wasn't afraid to talk to him. I wasn't afraid to think of myself as, oh, I wasn't lower than them. I mean, they're humans like us. It didn't turn me into a freaking sicko. I still respect women. I don't look at them sexually every time I talk to them. I'm not undressing them with my eyes or anything like that.
Only the attractive ones.
Shut up, dude. Don't ruin my point. But
go ahead, continue.
of course, this was like later in my 20s, where now it's like not afraid of women and stuff like that. But it didn't help with my confidence when I was a kid to think that. I'm pretty sure for other people it might not turn out so well. They might become chronically addicted and all that kind of shit. But for me, I needed to be exposed and have that realization of the fact that
We're not so different, you and I.
humans are sexual beings. That's just what we are.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make us a bad person. What makes us a bad person is if we like do bad things. I mean,
Yeah. You run with it and you start making worse and worse decisions based on it. I get that.
yeah. If you go crazy off on it and you're like, oh, this is what I saw in porn. Porn is fantasy. It's not real.
100%.
This can be applied to a lot of things as well. Addiction. Addiction is an application that can be applied to anything because we're humans. We whatever pleasures we derive from can be used to the chat. What are you talking about? Just join the chat. Just join the Discord chat if you want to. The addiction can be implemented by anything. I could be addicted to drawing. Now, is that an unhealthy obsession? I don't know. It depends because you're doing something creative. PRON, probably. If you're sitting there beating your dick all the time, then some negative outcome might happen. You might develop
Yeah, you're not
something.
doing things. You're just.
You're gonna split it in half one day.
I think with men, we need to
Gotta make sure to use
we need to
those.
satisfy our urges, and if we don't have a woman to satisfy our urges, then we need to
Oh,
find
shit.
an outlet. We need to find an outlet. Majority of men need to find an outlet for this pent-upness. This is our biology, and I'm tired of people trying to oppress that. This is our biology. Okay, restricting it and using cock and ball torture to destroy men's urges is going to cause issues for society. I was telling Louie, this is going to make kids in high schoolers, if they can't get access to like the main staples of PRON, and they can't, or the parents aren't being responsible and teaching the kids and helping the kids.
Sex education. We need that.
No government. No government.
No?
Have the
No.
parents.
I meant like legit education. Like, here's how it works. This is what happens.
From the parents.
Make sure you bag it.
From
Yes.
the parents.
I had that. I didn't turn out messed up from it.
Parents. It's a parent thing. Utah's not this. It's not talking about that.
Oh no, I don't want schools to teach.
No,
you're
not
right. I don't
not
want
schools.
You're removing the authority from the parents. You're overstepping your boundaries on parenthood. That's what's going on here.
We're the point we're trying to make here is that parents need to own up and actually commit to talking about those things, even though they're uncomfortable. You need to recognize when your kid's starting to go through those changes, and start making sense of the world to them, so they don't feel ashamed of who they are and what they do.
We're gonna have Kite and Chaz on in a bit, so you'll be.
Now, I'm not saying to recommend them categories and say, hey, you should get into this topic, you should get into that topic. That's a little uncomfortable, but make it so they don't feel like they're depraved and messed up for just even wanting to understand it.
And I was telling Louie about my experiences with that, where I've been permanently destroyed in that regards when it comes to women as a whole. And it's like, it's not that I look at them as fiends to just get sexually pleasured from. I mean, that's one aspect, but the problem is that growing up and having that critical moment when you're in middle school, high school, where you're developing those sorts of like feelings, when I needed my parents the most, they vanished. Like Avatar: The Last Airbender. They basically, my mom would abuse
the last
me.
cigarettes.
The last cigarettes. The last airbender smokes in my face. But yeah, when I needed my parents to help me, that at the most critical point, that messed me up. I looked at I looked at my sexual urges as a sin. I looked at it as a fault. But I needed to satisfy the urge. The urge was stronger than my guilt and my bad feelings, especially when you're that young, as a young man who was just getting all this in them. It needs to
All
be
those hormones, man.
Yeah, it's devastating. Nobody realizes how devastating it is for young men. Nobody
And then
cares about young men.
what about for the women? Like, how do you think they feel? Like, being told that they must be pure and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, no, am I a horrible
Sponge?
Sorry.
No, look, we're talking about the men's side.
Oh,
Women,
okay.
if you're pure and you have your hymen and you have sex with a man, guess what? You are permanently marked.
Yes,
as a woman.
it's damaged goods. It's fucking ridiculous.
That's just the biology, and we can't control that. It's unfortunate, but well, I don't think it's unfortunate. I think it makes relationships stronger if you have somebody who's willing to, like a father, to help you choose the right man.
You're trying to enforce pair bonding, and people don't want that in today's society.
Is this Chaz?
Sometimes I play with my willy, and then the white stuff comes out.
I'm glad white stuff comes out, not like red stuff. So
I'm gonna pre. Ooh.
So, SpongeMan, this
Well,
is Kite and Chaz. Kite and Chaz, this is the SpongeMan.
I was making a reference to Pink's Season, you know, the greatest rap album ever made. So if you didn't get it, well, that's on you.
I stopped watching Filthy Frank as soon as I did the, me and Louie did the sacrifice challenge.
Bro,
The chin.
you gotta listen to Pink Season, man. That's
I love that album.
I'm so angry. So very, very angry. Stop touching my willy. Or I'll tell the teacher. Bro, like that's all I could. I don't know why, man. I just woke up like
You're good,
10 minutes
Chaz.
ago. I'm
So Louie, Chaz here has autism, and so does the SpongeMan.
no autism.
no.
Autism died, man.
I'm
been
I'm
reborn.
Asperger.
No, like Autism Awareness Month ended, bro. Autism
Yeah.
is dead. I am now.
It doesn't exist.
I'm a perfectly functioning normal member of society. I have no social anxiety.
functioning normal society? What? Chaz, who are
No,
you?
no.
This isn't the real Chaz.
Society.
I can socialize perfectly fine. I have no social inadequacy. I'm
This
not.
Chaz is a spy.
Yes.
He's
no,
a Russian spy.
Yeah.
The Russians.
So Chaz, to kind
Are you
of
sending us the virus with the WinRAR lately?
I don't get that reference.
Oh, they've been sending
So, to try
Ukraine
and get
WinRAR.
Chaz up to speed here, Utah has passed a law for the last, I think, Wednesday, to basically
The last Wednesday.
ask for ID for PRON Hub and other major porn websites. So you have to put in
Oh,
your
that's also how you're gonna get your information stolen.
exactly.
And
so,
that's why you can use today's sponsor, NordVPN. Do you suffer from chronic masturbation? Are you addicted to dopamine and
My
serotonin
dick
that
don't
gets
work.
Do your dick don't work, but now you no longer have access to what made your dick stop working in the first place? Well, thanks to NordVPN, thanks to Surfshark VPN, you can now bypass Utah's, porn restrictions and get back to doing what you love doing most.
I couldn't live
Thank you
without
for
that.
summing it all up in one skit. I appreciate it.
I couldn't
You're
live
welcome.
without VPNs. But then Chaz came into my life and he said, "Try this VPN." Thanks, Chaz.
My buddy Cytrus DM'd me saying that he was going to Minecraft himself if he couldn't get his PRON. But thanks to my genius ass, I remembered all the YouTube sponsorships that have come my way that I've listened to. So
Thanks.
many hours of NordVPN sponsorships can now finally be put to good use for my brooders in Utah.
Thanks to Chaz VPN, I'm able to keep up on my lemon party videos. Thanks, Chaz VPN.
Thanks to Autism VPN. I should make my own VPN. It doesn't work. All it does is redirect you to autistic screaming videos, right?
Oh god.
Jeez.
That Tyler the creator or some shit, just the dude screaming his mic, ah, bro.
I need that in my life.
It clips the microphone so your ears get blown out. Kind
Exactly.
of like Vagineer, Louis.
Oh, that brings me back to the good
Man.
old days of Source Filmmaker and
Oh,
Gmods.
Speaking of
Hey.
Source Filmmaker,
the model I have that made for Chronic Chaz, I don't think it's the one that was used to fuck Tracer. I think this model is like something that was used to fuck something else that I can't really say. So
Good job.
I apologize in advance if anybody figures it out.
Well, I mean, hey, so I have a question. So I've been trying to add lemon to, more of my food, like chicken and tuna. If I go to lemonparty.org, will I find more lemon enthusiasts who share my passion for, making their food taste better?
It is good that you're asking the lemon Marquise himself. He's very familiar with all sorts of citrus.
Louie, shut,
Lemonparty.org.
just shut, Louie.
I've not only psyoped you, but everyone around you to think you love lemons. You are the lemon meister.
I never said it did.
He's a lime kind of dude. I can just tell.
I shipped him a 5-pound box of lemons. Like, I shipped him it.
Yeah,
Fresh
a
lemons.
5 pound of not just lemons, like the most organic, delicious lemons you could ever have.
You're such an amazing friend.
It was
bro.
$80.
Wait, did he make you pay for it?
No, I paid for it.
He paid
Oh.
for it. He survived.
What a good friend.
I fear
Right?
no man, but that thing.
That thing with
thing.
disposable income scares me.
Yeah.
I mean, so you get lemons sent your way. Undead Chronic only sends me, photos of goth bitches you fucked the other night, taunting me, knowing that
tell
I'm
him
never
to
gonna
send
get
those to
it.
me because Utah's banning all the prawn, so I need some shit, man. You got that pussy pic.
I need it, boss.
Boss. And boss, I have the.
I need the pussy. I need the pussy, bro. Like
Yeah,
this
so
is-
Utah's doing that. Chaz, what are your thoughts on them trying to outlaw prawn here in Utah, even though they consume more of it than most states, because of the fact that they have all these wives that won't satisfy them?
I mean, on
Go ahead,
I mean,
Swiftman.
oh, yeah, sorry.
Well, I think there's a lot more to it than that. I think there's again, the whole raising up based on possibly being shamed and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're
A lot
missing
of
out on the whole
reserve.
cultural phenomenon of being told that your entire natural being is evil and you have to repent. There's a lot of religious zeal.
The religious zeal has had the opposite effect of what it's wanting. Chaz, you and me, we understand the red pill, we understand the MGTOW, we understand what's going on in society for young men like us. These guys don't have an idea about that. What are your
Hey.
thoughts about the? It's not a strike towards you, SpongeMan. We have a different perspective on life, and I think this would make good dialogue for the show.
That's true.
Chaz, would you want to explain exactly why inherent human nature would be a bad thing for humanity if we were allowed to be, following our unrestricted nature as men?
I mean, the male sex drive is something that, society has made laws to, kind of tone down. Way back in the day, if a dude wanted to get some, he'd go to war, conquer a village, and then just get a harem. And whether or not they wanted to, the chicks would be with the men. Now, in today's society, we have made laws and deemed that kind of behavior morally wrong, right? And,
Yep.
I agree with that. I think it is wrong to, forcefully grape a chick just to bust a nut. I don't like
Gotta
that.
grape them.
Right
Yeah,
in the mouth.
I'm the grapist!
No.
Grape him in the mouth! But,
Yes.
I think that is wrong. However, women's sexual, their sexual nature hasn't been restricted at all. If anything, it's been allowed to flourish thanks to websites, dating apps, and laws that there's no law saying that a chick
There's
has
no
to-
laws against the Pokemon.
Yeah, it's just.
What?
Oh man, I just woke up. I have no
It's
idea
okay,
how to
Chaz.
talk.
It's
Oh.
all right. So
It's
basically, there's more and more pressure on men's sexual regression and sexual laws and dick policing, and there's none for women. So what's happening is hypergamy is taking effect and is destroying relationships due to a pair body being destroyed.
Yep.
Well, men are the ones that go out usually do raping. Not the...
It's not a.
look, what we're talking about is the inherent nature.
Yes. Sorry.
What is women's inherent?
Sensitive subject.
I know. It's okay, SpongeBob. I know you don't talk about this stuff, you don't think about these things, but this is kind of what we do. And I think it's interesting dialogues that have our own perspectives, especially with people who aren't aware with it, what they see the world as a normie, like Louie.
Yes. It's to educate
But
me.
we're talking about the other side of the coin here with women's inherent nature. Their inherent nature is to seek out the baddest and biggest dude, the 1%, the 0.0001% of men. That's their nature to do that because it's biology. If they need to have the strongest child, they're going to seek out the strongest child. Now, a 0.00% 1 giga chad, ultra chad, can have sex with as many of these women who are following their inherent biology. And these women think they earned that man because they let him smash. And the man's like, well, I have all these holes. I can choose whatever I want since I'm 0.001% of men. And so what's happening is these women think that they deserve that because when you destroy your hymen and you destroy your pair bonding ability, the men that you are like on level with, you are unable to pair bond with them because you have been marked. It's a physical thing. Does that make sense?
Okay, okay, I think I can add to this. So, do you know what pair bonding is? Like,
Sounds like
Define it for the
a
court.
glue
Define
or
it for the
fruit
court.
specifically.
okay, well, you don't want to use, Gorilla Glue when you're having sex.
Parabonding.
Okay, so the thing is, our body produces many different chemicals. Serotonin, melatonin, like oxytocin, like this and that, right? Dopamine,
Yes.
stuff like that. Well, there's an important chemical called oxytocin. It is produced when you have intercourse, right? And this chemical, basically, it's referred to as the love hormone, right? It literally gets produced to make the two people bond together, like emotionally and chemically and shit, right? And I'm not just pulling it out of my ass. Right?
No, this sounds scientific enough.
Yeah. So this chemical gets produced, right?
You're making Chronic proud, Chaz.
What happens when you overconsume, when you have too much of one chemical in your body all the time? Whether it's like dopamine or caffeine, what happens if you constantly consume or produce a specific chemical? Do you know?
You kill off the receptors or you OD.
Exactly. You become
Overdosing, yes.
you become more resistant to its effects, therefore you need more and more of it to get the same effect as last time, right?
So people are getting love diabetes.
Pretty much. Like if a chick goes from a dude to a dude to a dude to a dude, right? Her body has to produce more and more oxytocin to bond with the next guy she is with. But why would she try to smash a dude 3 or 4 times in a row to produce the same amount of oxytocin that it took for one dude the first time she smashed? It's not going to happen. These women will literally bond and chemically change with the dudes they are with, but they don't stay with these dudes. They just do one night stands, maybe a 3-week long fling, and then the dude either leaves or she leaves. And then the next relationship, it's going to be even more difficult for the chick to bond with the dude. That's why you see so many. That's why.
So you gotta get freaky.
It's
Right. And like
The
we were talking
spiral.
about earlier, SpongeBob, with like the prawn, kids are gonna find freakier stuff because now that's what they have to go through to bypass the prawn hubs, like blocks, and stuff like that.
And basically, this also like can add to the divorce, conversation, because if the chick has one partner before you, divorce goes from a 20% chance to like a 40% chance.
I think it's like 45 now.
Exactly.
My sister's been divorced too. Wait. No, she's been divorced once, but now she's happily married.
For how long? Like that's the question.
For how long?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
been like a good
it's a future
Yeah.
question. Like how long until a guy at the gym she goes to gives her attention and he's like really nice looking,
Yeah.
That's the possibility that's there. And so you, as a man, when it comes to marriage and relationship, it's a permanent decision to us. And if we lose that, our lives that we've built so hard with this person is destroyed. Marriage and divorce is not a joke. It really isn't. It never was. It has been turned into one due to media and feminism and all this crap to kind of destroy it, to make everyone weaker. So divorce is not a joke. I never treat it as a joke. Even my mom, who says she's not for
that's
divorce.
If things, yeah, I think divorce is like reserved when, like, if it becomes an abusive relationship, or
Well, it's abuse. Like, that could be anything at this point. So we have to define abuse. So what would be abuse?
abuse would be to the point where just being around each other just makes, like, the
Well,
idea of that person coming home scares you.
Okay, abuse is not it's just happens and it falls on both parties. Somebody is doing something. Somebody decided to do something.
It's not a switch. It gradually grows.
No, I wouldn't say it's a switch, but it doesn't fall on.
No, I said
both.
it's not a switch. It gradually grows into
Okay.
that.
Well,
Right.
I'm just saying, like, there's, like, a lot of people that divorce over, like, small things instead of, you know, communicating and working together to overcome it.
Right. Who initiates those divorces? Would you think it's the man or the woman that initiates these divorces?
I mean, it depends on the situation.
No. And on average, who do you think does it more?
Women.
No, statistically, 80% of women initiate the divorce, right?
This is a real stat.
It is an actual statistic. Women, 4 out of 5 times, initiate the divorce. Now, whether or not it's because the dude is going Mike Tyson on her, or if she's just not happy, that's up in the air, right? But
I'd go with R. Kelly.
Yeah, but like at the end of the day, 80% of divorces are initiated by women, right? And nearly 40% of divorces, or nearly 40%, I believe it's 41% of marriages end in divorce.
It's
So
actually
the majority,
I think it's 48 right now, and it's just gonna keep going higher.
and each time you remarry, it only increases in the odds of being divorced. So it's just a sad statistic where the majority of men want to be married. They want to start a family with the chick, but the chicks we have available around us, 9 times out of 10, they're blown up thoughts that had their cherry popped back in high school because they have no sexual restrictions, right? If you try to tell a chick you shouldn't have sex before you're married, you're seen as, you know, abusive, controlling, right? Like if you're trying to tell your daughter, you know,
Controlling in a bad way. Sometimes they like controlling. Only if you're hot.
Only if you're hot, exactly.
Louie's getting that. He's beginning to learn.
he's learning, but
Learning. I've already known this kind of stuff.
I know he doesn't think he's red pill, but I think he's just a sleeper agent.
But I mean, like, so
wow.
Do you understand how all these variables come together? Like with oxytocin being produced, right? And then she has a new partner every other week, and then it just spirals into a situation where a lot of chicks just aren't going to be stable to marry, is the thing.
Yeah.
Like dudes want to be married, but women don't at the end of the day. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to say every single chick is this, but statistically, 50% of marriages end in divorce, and of those marriages that end in divorce, 80% of them are initiated by the chick.
Well,
And-
you look at the reason for that, and who benefits out of the marriage and divorce?
H.S.
Mostly.
I've been saying that you eat booty.
I don't get nothing. But
Hey,
the
Chaz,
chick,
what's my thing in Gilded? It's like I never had to pass from eating ass.
but to answer your question, it's women that benefit. You know,
Yep.
they're the ones that marry like the higher paying dudes. Like they're not gonna marry the, you know, pizza delivery driver that just showed up at their doorstep. No, like women, they marry up hypergamy.
But that's what they showed in the PRON videos.
Hey, miss.
No,
you
they
had a
show her
glass
getting-
in your judgment.
they-
No,
no,
show her cheating on the husband
Yeah.
with the pizza guy.
They show her getting her back blown out. It's not loving and it's not love and intimacy. It's just raw,
Yeah, I know.
degrading sex. Yeah,
Ugh.
but
Fantasy shit.
fantasy.
Yeah.
The Final
Well, I
Fantasy
can't get that
Tifa.
stupid video of the guy with the Joker like cuts where he's like, I think you've had a lapse in your judgment, miss. He's like, you
There's
want a
plenty of sausage
pizza?
in your pizza.
Puts his dick in it. Jesus Christ, I hate that kind of shit.
I love the juxtaposition to what you expect and what is. But let's let Chaz continue with his point.
No,
Alright.
I have no other point.
Okay,
Oh.
we're just given the kind of rundown of the situation when it comes to these sort of relationships nowadays. It's nothing like it was back then. That boomer mentality has been saturated to such a degree where it's like poison if you even look at it with your eyes. You get radiation cancer. You start getting bumps in your eyes if you look at boomer trying to relate to the newer generations. And so all these boomers in the Utah state representatives are deciding, hey, since I'm not getting any, neither should you guys. And I'm like, you guys have hard drives and probably petabytes of PRON at home of probably everything in existence, while your wives
My dick
are...
doesn't work, so your guys' shouldn't either.
Exactly. That's what I hate
Got
about
'em.
Utah. If you want to see the other side of the coin, Chaz, when it comes to like liberals, come to Utah. You'll see the other side of that sort of like authoritarian bullcrap of hypocrisy and traditionalism, America, military, all that. That's here in Utah, and I'm getting sick of it.
Rip.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people
mean-
say, move. Where are you supposed to move? That place is just gonna only.
Oh yeah,
Utah
they're
wasn't
increasing
as
their
bad.
rent and shit and all that.
Yeah.
College.
Yeah, and you can't get anywhere here in Utah specifically unless you know somebody.
Yep. And just globally, everything's falling to shit, and we're just supposed to accept it.
Yeah, and they're like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. The next time
Just
I hear
make
somebody
sure you-
say that, I'm gonna hate them with the bootstraps.
Make sure you just don't eat the bugs, all right? Like, do me that favor.
These people. The best way to describe them, Chaz, is the Blue Lives Matter sort of crowd.
Ah.
So happy piggy noise.
Blue up a dee up a die.
I'm blue, and I would, if I was green, I would die.
I always thought it was I'm blue, I would bleed, I would die, and I was like, this song is hardcore as a
One
kid.
of my friends in high school was like, if your mom's a guy or something like that.
Oh, I remember. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I miss that guy.
So we're facing this shortage of puniti, Chaz, and a lot of, like I was telling them, middle schoolers and high schoolers who are in those very critical moments, who need to, satisfy themselves, or complete urges, or they're gonna most likely start talking to the girls in high school and middle school as young lads and try to establish relationships. And what I'm theorizing is that the false allegations are going to rise. Sexual assault's going to rise. Rape allegations are going to rise. All that is going to rise. Do you think that's an accurate theory?
Yeah, I think that's an accurate theory because, high school, it is so retarded because you take both of the sexes that are going through puberty, right? Hormones are raging, and you just put them in the same room and you just tell them to get along, but
Like an 80s sitcom.
literally, like, these chicks, they have access to dudes that are getting buff, like on the football team and shit. I've seen people talk about, like, oh, I know a friend who sucked her first dick when she was 14 back in high school. Right? I'm just like, it's it's a problem, and now since this Utah ban, I'm just worried of seeing how it's gonna unfold.
Oh, there's gonna be a lot more of that.
Remember the Family Guy episode where ear sex was a thing?
Yeah. I don't want to think about that. Weird.
I had to describe the Yeetus what soaking was, Chaz.
Yeah, soaking. I was gonna mention that next.
Oh no, I don't know what that is.
I have a story to go with that, but you describe
Okay,
it.
I want people to raise their hands on who wants to do it.
On soaking.
Who wants to educate the beetle?
All right, I can explain it. So imagine if God himself was like a T-Rex and his vision was based on movement.
Is this like a piss thing?
No.
No,
Don't worry.
no,
It's
no.
not as bad as you think it's gonna be.
It's just
No.
weird.
All right, so God himself is a velociraptor, right? He can't see if you're not moving.
Alright.
And God is always watching you, so if you and your lady friend are not married but want to have premarital sexual relations, you insert yourself into your lady friend and do not move, and you just sit there until both of you are satisfied.
No, you have a friend who also jumps on the bed and moves the bed for you.
Oh yeah, that whole like Mormon.
Yeah,
I think I've heard
this happens. Louie, have you met anybody that did that?
So yes, actually, that's gonna circumvent to my side story. I worked at UPS a number of years ago, and there was a younger man that was 19-ish. This is also going into the amount of sexual education we have in Utah. This kid was going around proudly proclaiming to all of his coworkers, saying, "Hey man, I just docked yesterday." Now, does anyone here know what docking is?
Was he
I
granted
just
permission for docking?
So imagine if you are not circumcised and you like, okay, if you have a hoodie and your friend wants to share the same hood and you just put each other's heads in the same hood, that's what docking is. But replace hoodie
Was
with
that the one
foreskin.
with that Mario hentai collab that we watched with Wario and Mario?
No, that's somehow
piping.
insert. Yeah, that's piping.
Oh,
No,
okay, that's different.
yeah, but it's just sharing the same foreskin because it's like a warm handshake with the same sleeve. Now he was going around saying, because he confused the names for soaking and docking, and he was going around telling everybody he was docking, and
What?
I had to explain to the poor lad what that was,
What a god.
and he
I mean,
told
if
me
he's
I
proud
was
of it.
wrong. No, he told me I was wrong in my definition, and he went to proclaim that to more people. So, God rest his soul.
These people are
You know,
morons.
I tell my coworkers I'm hella autistic. Your coworkers tell them that, you know, he docked. So I guess I'm just built different.
You
Yeah.
may be autistic, but we have weirdos. These are weirdos.
These are strange folk for sure.
I'm a strange person myself when it comes to, like, you know, how I express myself. But these people are weird here. Compared to me, where I'm like a little eccentric sometimes, these people are weird.
It's just a little eccentric, you
A
know?
little eccentric. Be quiet. Shut your whore mouth. I mean, SpongeBob, you probably have had experiences like that where people like confuse certain language, sexual actions, and shit like that. Abraham
usually it
says,
was me.
"Bro, what the hell?" Nah, we've all had those, you know, life learning lessons. We've had those sort of interactions where it's like, you know, you learned. You know, now kids aren't going to be able to learn. They're going to be accused and thrown out in handcuffs and shit like that. Because
Yeah,
some girl
I
felt
believe that there's
uncomfortable.
there's a story in the UK about like an autistic Bruta who was just asking a chick to be his friend, and then he got like arrested for harassment or some shit.
Boy, do you have a friend license?
Yeah, that's why I say, you know, don't even try to be friends with chicks. They'll just, you know, end up accusing you of sexual harassment.
Right, that's a possibility that can happen, and it's
Let me see-
unfortunate.
Let me see if I
But
can
in
find
order to
that
protect, in order to protect yourself now, you have to be like, I can't engage with you unless there's like several witnesses.
Now
For
I'm
legal-
legitimately
For
scared of
legal
associating with women.
reasons, I'm
Yeah.
only gonna friend you in Minecraft, of course.
What if I put my bed next to yours? Haha, just kidding. Unless.
Unless.
The double bed.
Double bed.
The dub
Oh.
bed.
Dub bed.
Dub bed.
So how you
Are
doing,
we gonna
Jazz?
play Minecraft?
I thought
Good.
we were gonna do that on your channel.
Yeah, we could be Minecraft
Oh
YouTubers.
no, I don't have.
You failed me for the last time, Starscream.
I just
Oh, what do you
remember,
want now,
I'm a boomer for gamers, man. I played Minecraft in alpha.
Yeah,
But
you and
when
Gray
they-
are so special.
Special ed.
You and Gray are...
My mommy says I'm special.
You and Gray are just like, oh, we play Minecraft, we're cool. I'm like,
Before it was
old
cool.
Man.
Yeah. Played it before they added horses.
And then it was all downhill from there.
Actually,
white
yes.
women started
It's
playing.
not even.
Cinesaurus is very
Women in my video games? Ugh.
No, your sister is obsessed with that, and Roblox, and
Well,
Five Nights at
mostly-
Freddy's.
Yeah, mostly all of the above. Yeah.
I'm just.
Are you not ashamed?
I had no hand in raising her. Like Pontius Pilate, I wash my hands of this.
I just want my hot goth gamer tomboy GF. Is that really so much to ask for?
Yes.
You're asking for a twink.
Nope. I'm not. Nope. None of that.
Game theory. Is Jazz a twink lover? Let's
Nope.
find out. My
So
jaw
we're-
is the size of a freaking building. Look at
Nope.
me. Don't criticize me or my wife who cucks me. I'm
Wait,
Matt
Matt.
Pat.
Wait, Matt Pat gets cucked.
I'm assuming so.
No, he doesn't.
Nobody like that with that jaw.
Does he have a gate? Is that just a theory?
It's just a theory.
A film theory because it's gonna be on video.
Jesus.
Welcome to Film Theory. Today I'm trying to find out, is my wife cheating on me? I set up some cameras in the house. I found like 4 big black men walking in the house one day. I thought we were about to be robbed, but then my wife greeted them at the door. Now,
I had to measure the length
that
and
this is my
of
wife.
their balls in order to find out if they're as big as me. But
Do they
are.
qualify as a BBC? Now we have to understand and scientifically
hurts. This
define
hurts.
what
Please.
big means.
You're doing psychic damage to Louie. Calm down, Jazz.
Bro, he pulls out like a whiteboard and tries to define what big is, right?
Hey, Louie, you and Chance would be good friends because you both like Pokemon Cancer.
Oh.
Fuck Pokemon. I'm a Yu-Gi-Oh kind of guy. JK.
Oh, okay. No,
JK.
that first statement. I guess you're a fan of Lopunny then.
No, I'm a Gardevoir kind of bro.
Oh.
Got him. Man, I could just like start.
Cyrus over here is an evolutions man.
No.
Of course he. Of
Oh,
course
he likes
is.
the
I don't
Vaporeon
like
with the
Pokemon
hips.
as much as everyone else. I don't. Here's my experience with Pokemon. Okay, Red and Blue came out when I was a kid. All right, we got the Game Boys, and I started.
Boomer.
You
Fuck
erased
yeah.
your brother's save files. I
No,
remember
no,
this.
shut
You
up,
monster.
Louie. That's not how it
You
happened.
monster.
This is how it happened. I'm like, hey, Cyrus, here, you can play. My 2 older brothers gave me a copy of Blue, their copy, and I was like, I'm gonna play Pokemon. Yeah, that was me as a kid. I'm like, I want to try a new file because I want to experience this. Delete file, start new game. An hour later, I'm like, thank you, brother, for letting me play your Game Boy. And he's like, you deleted the file! And smacked me across the room. And my mom came in. She's like, what's going on? And my brother was like, he deleted the file. And I don't have the Pokemon with the 2 wieners. And she's like, and beat me even more.
Well, that's what you get for robbing him of the 2-donged dog trio. It has 2 heads.
So
Or
It has
3
3
heads.
heads.
I didn't get
No,
to
no,
play
it
Pokemon.
has 2 heads and then an extra head, if you know what I'm saying.
I didn't
Yes.
get to play
Oh,
Pokemon.
so
Those-
he's
Those
like
are
a.
phalluses. Those aren't heads.
Yeah. Hey, actually, guys, did you know that Pokemon Generation 2 is the best generation? You wanna know why?
Johto is just awesome, and it has Totodile.
Well, I mean, it's also based as hell because gender is based off your attack IVs, and literally, if you have a female Pokemon, that attack IV is lower than the male Pokemon, i.e., women are weaker than men. So,
What the hell, really?
Oh wow.
actually, yeah, in Generation 2, and also, if you have a shiny Pokemon, is statistically bad because being a shiny Pokemon is entirely dependent on your DVs, just like your gender. So if you have like a shiny female Pokemon, it is like statistically not that good.
That's funny because people love the albinism in the Pokemon, which that's all it really is just albino.
Hey,
So-
Albino
Sponge,
Pluto's grows up.
people think you look like Dr. Bright.
Who?
Dr. Bright from SCPs.
Yes.
In the chat, they think you look like Dr. Bright.
Your secure cheese
SCP?
pizzas. Yeah, secure cheese pizza.
No, secure, contain, protect. I don't. I think I know who Dr. Bright is. Is he like the super powerful?
He's the guy that has the necklace.
Oh, I have no idea then.
Okay.
I only know SCPs.
Pee real
I
quick,
don't
I'll
know
be
the
right
lore behind them. I just know the file. SCP-153.
Okay, so
I didn't know there was
So thinking
lore.
about Pokemon, I've actually thought of like the best analogy to describe these marriage statistics. Right? I have a question for you. if you are in the grand finals of a world Pokemon tournament, right? Like grand finals, it all comes down to this. You're running an electric type Pokemon, right?
Hmm.
Which move would you like to use? Thunderbolt, Thunder, or Zap Cannon? Which move would you choose to run?
Is it raining?
I don't know. Are you running a dedicated rain team? Are you trying to like, I don't know, but like, okay, let's say you're not running a rain team. You don't know what your opponent's running.
Nuts to
Thunderbolt.
Thunder, then Zap Cannon.
Bro, so it's like Zap Cannon, it's a great move until you see the 50% accuracy, right? That's kind of how it is with marriages, right? For each chick, for each dude the chick you're trying to marry has before you, it goes from 100% accuracy to 70 to 50, right? And so on and so forth. I thought that's a cute little analogy to help explain what these statistics mean, but
It's good.
I'm dishing out red pills via Pokemon. I am 100% unique in that.
I've always been a Thunderbolt guy because I like the 100% accuracy.
Exactly. You want that consistency, and you're not gonna find consistency from a Western thought. That's just how it is. We
You're
use
overloading the SpongeBob, Chaz.
like the thing
Time
is
out. He needs to absorb these red pills.
like we love to use terms like stone miss and focus miss, right? Like because stone edge and focus blast, they miss all the time, right?
Yes.
Okay, when you see 70% accuracy, your reaction is purely when you see a 70% statistic, your reaction is purely decided on whether or not you play Pokemon or not. If you don't play Pokemon,
Chaz.
what?
No, not you. Not you specifically. They haven't updated the Soils Filmmaker Workshop for your Heracross model.
Oh, right.
So I've been trying to work on your model for SFM. I'm working back on Grays right now. But,
Don't worry about it. Take your time.
No. No.
Worry about it more. Cry some more.
No,
I want you to cry tears into the computer's hard drive directly.
I don't deserve to have
Press your
people-
tear ducts on the motherboard right now, mister.
I don't deserve to have people put effort into content for me.
Chaz, I do it because it's fun. So I get an extreme enjoyment, and I'm learning and I'm practicing. So it's a win-win. Relax. I just wanted to let you know is that
Are you gonna kink shame him, Chaz?
I'm still talking.
No.
The website is sfmlab.com, which has all those smut characters as well. But they also have normal models. And the Heracross model that I was going to use to manipulate, I have tried re-downloading and downloading and trying to fix the textures on that. Whoever ported it destroyed the texture VTX files to the point where they just show like the missing texture file grid on the model, regardless of what you try to do. So I'm waiting for someone to properly port it to the Steam Workshop because those seem to be, worked and finalized, and I'm just waiting for the Heracross to appear. So as soon as that's in, then I'm going just straight to work on it.
Just smear some honey on a tree, man. You'll find it.
You're not gonna find that Munchlax though.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking 4 trees in the entire game only give you a Munchlax. That's some bullshit.
Oh, they have the Bionicles models here.
Ooh, yes.
Hell yeah.
Kopaka is my boy.
Liwa.
The ice toas were always the
God,
best.
I thought I was a nerd, but now I feel so much better.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm not into Bionicles now. I feel like
Heresy.
now I'm like, oh, I can bully this guy now.
Right?
Now I get to be the bully.
What are the guys that throw the discs called that you get at McDonald's?
Shit, I can't remember. I
Rock
can't
Sheep.
remember the names. I grew up with it as a kid.
Rock Sheep.
Beta.
No,
They're called Rock Sheep. No, or is that the guys with the worms in the back of their...
that was the worms guys, I think.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Valkyries or something like that. It had to be.
Varik, Vaki.
Vaki, yeah, that's it. The
Yeah.
Vakis. They were awesome because you put the disc in and you shoot at your little brother, he cries, and then you get grounded.
Yeah. Again, the ice type, the ice ones were always the coolest in that.
Yeah.
I basically only bought the ice type, the ice toas and the ice villains of every series. I didn't care about the other ones.
I love the green guys because they're my Grigas.
Grigas.
Chaz, did you know my character is actually green?
I mean, like, it's green and yellow and blue.
Yeah, but primarily my skin color is green. I'll do a drawing with my jacket off, and you'll see my arms all green.
He'll be a green man.
I am a green man because of radiation. I hope that's enough of a story to give to Chronic whenever he talks to me. He said that I still have the Discord message. Okay, we'll talk tomorrow. 2 months later.
That's just how it is.
2 months later.
No, I know. Gray explained. Everyone explained. I think it's funny.
Yeah, man, he's going through stuff right now.
He's Chronic. He's the Lord's Warband member, the supreme Warband man.
Literally, I think like Chronic on a stream said, hey, "Look, guys, if you're trying to like contact me, go through Gray, Manic, and Chaz. They're like always online." And now I'm just waiting for like 30 people to DM me about this kind of shit.
Yeah, including me. Did Chronic see the animation I made of him choking out a roach? I don't know. Can you ask him? I'm always afraid to ask people like, hey, I made this drawing for you. Can you put it on the fridge? Because all I see is my dad slapping me.
I mean, you've seen me on stream. I'll literally stop whatever the hell I'm doing and be like, oh wait, a guy sent me this. And I'll put it on stream.
Yeah. It's just,
Yeah, I'm just
no,
awesome.
Chronic has like so many people, so
Yeah.
I understand. And they're all loyal too. It's like the guy has like he's always started out with like lower subscribers, but he gets so much interaction versus like Think Before You Sink, where you got 1 million people and barely anybody interacts.
Who's this Chronic guy that we're talking about?
Don't worry about it.
I mean, SpongeBob, if you really want to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be really into it. It's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, it's very hard truths if you're willing to hear him out. So
he's crass, he's mean, he's a bully, and he's funny as hell.
yeah,
He's the Grinch.
But do we want to talk about something else before we start like getting, way too into
the
it?
high amounts of molestation in Utah.
Ooh.
Wait, what? No.
Yeah,
I'm good on that, man. I'm a pass. Hard pass.
yeah, I thought we were just talking about like frame data and how awesome Street Fighter 6 is gonna look, and then you just start bringing up molestation.
Yeah,
Jesus
because
Christ.
the topic today is Utah forcing ID for PRON. The topic
Oh, yeah.
of PRON and hentai and cartoon porn parodies and stuff
love
like that. That's what
You
we've been
invited
talking
me
about.
here to try and gaslight me into giving away my preferences for hentai.
Yeah, that was the ultimate goal. Thanks for.
I'm a
exposing that.
vanilla man. I'll admit it.
I just
Yeah.
listened to
None of that
whatever
NTR
hentai-
garbage.
Here's
Whatever-
an interesting thing.
God damn
I think I heard about this. I need to find out. But the person who voice acted the ASMR Temmie sucks dick for Coolidge. You remember that from -8?
There was a
Chronic
voice
from
actor
Rocket
for that?
League?
No.
No. Undead Chronic. Undead Chronic.
Wait, what?
That's the
No,
guy
we were
who's
talking
okay.
about Temmie.
Temmie
Sorry.
That meme where Louie, you were at 4chan, you would see the ASMR of her sucking dick.
Vaguely. I think I
Okay,
remember.
and then somebody animated it.
Wait, there was an ASMR of that and then someone animated it? I only saw
Yes.
the animation.
Yeah, it was an ASMR. And
No.
the voice actress who did that tried to kill herself. Unalive herself.
That's unfortunate, but you can't really make people live.
Well, I know, but I find it interesting that even with ASMR thoughts, a lot of it comes down to like, imagine if you're not even doing prawn, you're just voicing it, and you're already like really, really depressed about that. It's like there is no like I can just do like feet pics. You'll feel bad about doing it. So you have people who are voice acting in these cartoon porn parodies or vaguely depressed on Twitter and shit like that. I think
No
it's interesting.
surprise, a Western woman is depressed because she has sexual freedom. Who
Yep.
would've thunk it?
It's all, especially hentai artists or cartoon porn parody artists, like cartoon artists who make like all that furry shit and stuff like that. They seem to be very depressed, or they're always talking about how depressed they are. It's like, how about you can stop drawing that, or maybe draw something different.
Well,
See how
I
you
think
feel about it. Because if you're
You draw a
drawing,
bus.
drawing somebody crowning day in and day out, I think I'd be depressed too.
God.
So all this depraved stuff that artists draw, no shit, you're depressed after a while of doing that consistently. Even if it makes you a lot of money, you just gotta accept that this is, if it's not something you want to do to make money, don't do it. You're not gonna make money, I'll tell you that, unless you're like super good, which, you know, AI art's just gonna take over for that.
Once it figures out how to draw hands properly.
I think
Yeah.
it's already working on that quite a bit.
It is scary how good it is getting.
Yeah, but that was like a topic with Ray. But Chaz, when it comes to hentai artists and cartoon porn parody artists, that being outlawed here in Utah, to some sort of extent with age verification, do you think regular prawn gets consumed more versus like cartoon parody prawn? What do you think gets consumed more?
I mean,
on a
I would
daily basis?
assume like standard prawn would get consumed more, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a rise in animated stuff, right? Because I don't know, maybe you'd be able to skirt, you know, algorithms, you know, websites a bit easier. So
It's an art form rather than actual video.
like now people
Prawn.
can go on Twitter and follow NSFW artists, right? That make drawings. And does Twitter have that age verification thing put in place?
Well, any website that requires you to sign up, you have to verify your age. So none of those websites are affected. It's the stuff like Pornhub where you can just go on straight to it.
Yeah.
So it's the websites like that is banned here in Utah.
I mean, like Twitter doesn't even require you to like put your like ID in.
Well,
You can
there's a
just say your-
verification
You
process.
just put your birthday in, and you
Yeah.
can make that up. You could
Yeah.
say that you're 57 years old or 110.
I was born yesterday.
It doesn't like that, but if you were born 2 days from yesterday, it'll say,
I'll be born
"Oh, you're
tomorrow."
not 18. Wait, come back in 18 years, buddy."
So I would argue that I think here in Utah, Utahns are a lot of memers and 4chan users here. A lot of the young people here. I've met a lot of people who are like on iFunny that go to Utah. A lot of that culture is kind of here, so I would say cartoon prawn and hentai are on the rise a lot more than traditional prawn. Traditional prawn's like just from all the boomers and priests and bishops in the church, consumed on a large scale here because they fake traditionalism but behind the scenes it's feminism at home. I mean, all the women that I've seen in like the churches that I would watch, they are all zoinked out on medication. It's sad. Really.
They're eating a bowl of Xanax for breakfast with a healthy portion of wine.
Yeah, it's like, no, I'm so oppressed. It's like, you guys, it's I don't know what I would call it. It's like, we're traditional up front, but feminist in the back, sort of thing.
It's like a closeted feminist.
Yeah, it's like, it's a depressing sort of thing where they're trying to make the two mix, but they can't. So they're like, I want to make my wife happy, happy life, happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life.
Like, that's an impossible task and standard to accomplish. You know, if you're trying to make someone else happy, I think you're going about life wrong. So, do you guys know the difference between cartoon porn and hentai?
I mean, hentai is, you know, from Japan.
Hentai is just an animation style. That's it.
Yeah, like it's a style. Yeah, I mean,
It's lazy anime.
it's hentai. Like, do we really need to like get so into it about the difference?
The artist rendition of hentai, or first originated in the Osaka region, 1743.
The history of hentai goes all the way back to the early 1800s.
We're shitting on it, but what is the actual first known piece of it? I want to know now.
There was like a picture of a dude, like the guy drew a picture. It was like an octopus and a woman. I forgot
Oh yeah,
what.
it's like one of those classic
It's a legit painting.
Oh my god, I gotta look this up now.
No.
Oh, come on.
Okay, fine. We are on the subject. Cartoon porn, I would say, is more of a Western version of hentai, and I think that's two different categories because you have all these porn artists and hentai artists who hentai follows, in my opinion, a certain
rule of anime drawing style. And cartoon porn follows no styles. It's their own style, and they can exaggerate and do renditions of like Western media into porn categories. Like the artist that you see on screen right now, the one that draws Paradox, she does PRON of her. I'm never gonna put it on because that's illegal. So, but I like more of the safe for work drawings of Western female characters. It's just it's more appreciative. I'm kind of sick of seeing enlarged, inflated tits and asses everywhere.
Yeah, put it in general.
Yeah, and I don't get that appeal where it's like, what's going on now is like
it's so classical and beautiful.
You're gonna get a picture framed.
Yeah, I'll go to FedEx, get some, or yeah, FedEx.
I want you to make direct eye contact with the guy who prints it out. Just be like, yeah.
I still remember when we lived together and you ordered pizza, but you put in the specific instructions in all caps, do not make eye contact, and you sent me to answer the door. So I'm sitting there like, oh hey, thanks for the pizza, and the guy was so sketched out the whole time, and I was like, did he poison this or something? And then I look at the receipt and I just see do not make direct eye contact.
That's the most autistic shit, dude.
That is like the nicest thing compared to what you did to me in the bottle cap.
Oh, come
You
on.
little psycho. Nearly killed my brother.
Oh, wait, what? How? I don't remember which one.
The pepper spray shit, the capsule.
Oh, capsule. That didn't kill him, it just made it hard to breathe.
Hey man, like asthma's a bitch.
So, what I did was I bought pure capsaicin powdered extract, and it was called Panic Powder. You can buy it for $10 on Amazon. I'm not advocating for him, I'm not affiliated with him, I'm just saying that's what I did at the time. And I dusted the fan that my roommate, his brother, slept with, just blowing on his face all night. And I just thought it'd be funny, haha, a little spritz, right? It'll just kind of dash or whatever. And then I put a little bit on Cytrus's pillow as well, and his fan in his room too. And then I forget about it for like half a day, and I'm sitting there just chatting with them, and his brother comes upstairs and he's like, hey, there's some shit falling from the ceiling. As he's coughing, his eyes are like all watering, his face is red.
It's swollen.
I go downstairs, the air is spicy, you cannot breathe. And he got a full frontal just blast of that.
His face was red and swollen.
Oh yeah, it was swollen too.
He's like, oh, I think I'm gonna die.
I'm like, just inhale milk, man.
Poor guy. Poor guy.
He's
Anyway,
experienced spicy air.
Back to the topic of I hate seeing inflated tits and asses. I don't get the appeal for that. What is that?
I have no idea.
It's a
Bigger is better.
fantasy. It's something you can never get in real life.
Yeah, you can't take a bicycle pump, stab someone in the chest, and just keep pumping until they explode like Dig Dug.
Is that where it started?
Yeah, Dig Dug gave people inflation fetishes. Actually, that might be credible.
There's gotta be some poor little kid out there who saw like the little monster get bigger and bigger, and then like, you know, his willy started to get big too.
Oh man, I hate that I'm right in this now. Now there's gonna be a whole wave of people screaming justice about Dig Dug.
Hashtag justice for Dig Dug.
I don't think there's been any recent adaptations of it.
You got that, and then you
Spongeman, did you find something noteworthy?
Yeah, look it up in fucking general chat.
Oh boy.
Don't tell me what to do.
Oh, okay. The fisherman's wife thing.
Dude, there's an actual translation of the script on the painting, and it's about the octopus being like, oh god, yeah. And the wife was
delicious.
like, no, don't, you're suckers.
There is a wall of text behind that, and my kanji is not good yet, but good god,
I know,
that's a
but
lot
it's
of writing.
translated on the wiki site.
Okay, I have now decided that I'm going to kill myself.
Bro, I'm gonna kill myself too. Not because of this, but just because I'm like very much
Yes,
depressed.
it tingles, no sensation in my hips. Oh, the boundaries and borders are
This
gone.
painting is
Well,
the exact
that's
reason
good.
why 2 nukes were not enough.
Small octopus. After Daddy finishes, I want to rub my suckers.
Does it actually say? Does it actually fucking say daddy? Oh come
Oh,
on!
Oh, Toscan.
You know,
Are you winning, son?
Guys, maybe Utah was onto something here.
Yeah, I'm starting to actually agree with Utah. I'm sorry, Cytrus, but this is the kind of shit that's going on.
It's
Look, I
only
just
gonna
found
get
this on
worse.
Wikipedia.
You know what?
Yeah,
If
Wikipedia.
you only knew how worse things really can get.
Being trapped on an island for so long. Yeah. This is
Cast
why I look at
away.
people who are fans of Japan. I'm like, really? You're a fan of that stuff?
Yes.
You know, you have fun over there, Louie. You let me know exactly what kind of shit you see over there.
Oh, don't worry. I'll gift you some stuff.
Oh no. Are you gonna get me an anime manga of Sonic, Jew?
No.
Sonichu,
Oh.
Sonichu body pillow.
Now, I've been seeing in your comments, someone's been obsessively asking you, what are your opinion of Sonic's arms? What color are they?
No,
they
you're
orange?
gaslighting again. You're full of lies.
I think that they're green.
Yes.
No, that's Scrouge.
That's Scourge,
Yeah,
asshole.
Scrooge.
Scrouge?
How about you spell it right and I'll say it right?
Scrotum.
Scrooge.
Scrotum.
You know his origins though, Chaz.
Scrotum the
Yeah,
Hedgehog.
he's an evil Sonic from an alternate universe. He gets the Chaos Emeralds at some point in time, and then like he transforms into his green-skinned counterpart, like a true Griga.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
this-
would
this-
be Chronic's favorite character because he's the antithesis to Sonic's heroism.
Yeah.
That brings it up. I wanna see. Is there like a Hulk Sonic?
Dude,
one-
there's Sonic fan art for
Yeah, there's
literally
Sonic
everything.
of everything. You
Don't
could
you
find
remember?
Shrek and Sonic. You could...
It's so cringe. He's got the purple shorts with the
Okay,
Sonic
here
shoes.
I'm gonna look up Cytrus the Hedgehog.
Cytrus the Hedgehog? And we're doing that?
Yeah.
Why not just Cyrus the Hedgehog since that's my name?
Oh, there's a death battle of Sonic versus Hulk.
Cyrus.
It's just reskin. Well, there's an actual character named Cyrus in the
No, okay, no. Like, it's a meme where if you take any name and then add the hedgehog and Google it, you're gonna find
No,
shitty.
there's an
fan
actual
art.
character from Sonic Underground named Cyrus.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I'll print it on stream here. So
I-
there's a guy who from Sonic Underground. Now
I
that is a
remember-
travesty of animation if I ever
Oh
saw
my god,
one.
I remember.
It's just Shadow with purple.
No. It looks like there's a character that was named Cyrus in the
Jesus Christ.
official like Sonic Underground.
Does it
theme
look like a
song.
squirrel?
Yeah, it looked like a squirrel, man.
Look, why does it look like it was ripped from He-Man or something?
Because it was made in the 80s.
Oh no. Oh no.
Sonic Underground.
If you hated the voice of Joel White voices Sonic, why don't you hear it 3 times and he sings?
It's fucking.
Cat?
I remember that shit. Did it ever actually end, or was it just canceled?
I think it just hung itself at the last ending because there's this one stupid shot of like Sonic and Knuckles, because that's when they introduced Knuckles.
Did they pile themselves on top of each other like that horrible cartridge design?
Lock on techno. Okay, if I'm ever gonna have sex with a chick, if I'm gonna get her back to my place, I'm gonna ask her, "Hey, do you want to partake in some lock on technology with me?"
Oh no.
32 inches.
Gonna birth a very autistic child.
Man.
I should never have kids. I'm going to ruin that.
Maybe
little
that's-
bastard's life.
Yeah. A lot of the
Cyrus.
incel community is just very troubled.
Poor incels. I feel sorry for them. They think sex is the only thing that matters in life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they could be getting gains, but
Yeah, it's an improvement.
I've
your
actually been
life.
working out.
good.
I can hear.
Yes.
Just clanking
Yes,
the dumbbells.
You're gonna go
Yeah.
from like season 1 Vegeta to like season 5 Vegeta, where he's got his neck is in it's gross.
No, I'm gonna get jacked.
You're
like
you're that one guy in the holes. I can fix that guy.
I can fix her.
No.
No, It was the black cowboy guy that was always like just showing up out of nowhere and saying, "I can fix that," and then that was the basis of their entire
Alright,
romance.
Oh
I
yeah,
think I,
Holes with Shia LaBeouf. That's what you
Yeah.
were talking
Yes, yes,
Well,
that,
actually,
that.
I'm max with the time, so I'm gonna go ahead and
We're out of
summarize. real quick.
time.
The Utah State is now made it more likely for people and young lads to find Sonic Prawn easier, and the
Yep.
degeneracy will rise. There's going to be a huge rise of.
And they'll all be quick shots because they gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. Prostate
Gotta
cancer
speed-
will rise.
Gotta
and all
speed
that.
run this pregnancy.
Things are going to go downhill for Utah, and things are going to get much worse for them, in my opinion, when it comes to that. The sexual assault will rise. Rape allegations are going to rise in the communities around, and I think a lot of problems are going to be even worse now, thanks to Utah trying to control something you can't control, and you're just funneling people into worser scenarios. Whether they're aware of that or not doesn't matter to me. This is what's going to happen. So, Chaz, thank you for joining. SpongeMan, thank you for joining. Louie, thank you for joining. Do you guys have any final thoughts?
Nope.
No.
My head hurts.
Yes.
And there you have it. Thank you all for joining. We'll catch you next time on the Citrus Events.
Bye bye.
Yeah, it's over. I just put it into intermission. I haven't ended the stream just yet.